This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, official podcast of comicbookmovie.com, where we talk movies, comics, TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host with the splitting headache, Nick Mason.
Nearly didn't make it, but I pushed through because I love two things. I love speaking about comic books and movies and TV shows, and also I love
That's three things, but go on.
taking drugs
Okay, yeah, sure.
with the very thin premise that it's going to fix my headache.
Has it?
Yeah, I took a lot of cocaine just earlier.
Good,
Yeah,
excellent. Well, that's great, Mason. You've also got a loot crate there that you're going to open for this
I'll crack
week.
it right now.
While you're cracking that open, I'm going to give you the first bit of news.
There's a Rocket and Groot Q-Fig.
That's pretty
It's
good.
very nice. I like it already.
All right,
Good start.
Hang on to that for a second.
Okay.
How's this for a title? Top Gun Maverick. Top
Gun
sequel.
Maverick?
Maverick. What do you think?
Would you... Okay,
The Maverick solo film we've always wanted.
Wasn't the last one a Maverick solo film?
There was also a goose. There was also an Iceman.
Is it a prequel?
No, it's a modern day sequel.
Is Tom Cruise in it?
I can give you what Tom.
Wait, first of all, before we get started there, would you see a movie called Top Gun: Maverick? And basically, it's about the world's best proctologist.
I absolutely
He's a
would.
Top Gun: Maverick. He doesn't play by all the rules, but he will clear that colon out for you. What do you reckon?
I'm all about that.
Yeah, good.
This is what Tom Cruise says. Imagine a Tom Cruise face and
Okay,
gun
he's doing the gun fingers
Yeah.
in the air. He's shaking them.
Yeah, we're gonna have the same tone we had from the first one. Really
Oily.
Yeah, stylistically, it's going to be the same. We're going to have the same score from Harold. His name. Aviators are back. The Need for Speed. We're going to have big, fast machines. Gun fingers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
What do you think of that? I don't think have you not seen
I've
Top
not
Gun?
seen Top Gun in its entirety, no. So I'm the most unqualified person to say. I don't know. They'll put them in new planes, I guess.
Totally. Do you reckon this will make a lot of money?
Yeah.
Yeah, it will.
Well,
Do people unironically love Top Gun?
see, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if people.
Like the way that people love Commando. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I don't think it's that on that level, right? It's just it's a pretty fine action film,
I would
right?
say, but people know Top Gun more than they know Commando.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the question would be, in terms of it doing well, will it do as well as most Tom Cruise movies do, or will it get a boost because it's Tom Cruise and Top Gun?
I think, well, not all Tom Cruise movies do super well.
Uh-huh.
Like the Jack Reacher's never gonna stop punching people in diners. That
Yeah.
did not do well.
That's true.
Like, what was the one he did? There was another one he did. Oh yeah, like the even that Edge of Tomorrow didn't do. Even though people
Yeah,
liked
right,
it, it didn't
exactly.
do super well.
Yeah.
But I think these two things together,
Uh-huh.
if they promise the insane stunts of a Tom Cruise film a la The Mummy,
Oh yes,
but with the action of Top Gun, then yeah, I think it'll do.
that's true.
Pretty
Like
well,
he's graduated from just being in Top Gun, where he's there and saying stuff while action happens.
He's
to,
the Top Gun.
to walking on wings and hanging off the sides of planes. I guess. All right, yeah. You know what? Now that you brought that up, I'm kind of on board.
Okay.
He's hanging off the side of a bomber or something.
But I don't
He's
know.
leaping into a tomcat.
Because the idea also behind that original Top Gun was...
You know, it's just struck me that his couple nickname with Katie Holmes was Tomcat.
Yes.
And in Top Gun, he flies the F-14 Tomcat.
So you know the plane,
Yeah, I know the plane.
but you don't know all the abs.
Correct.
All the oily abs.
Yeah. Look, I know he could be my wingman anytime.
Sure.
But that's all I know.
No, but I mean, it's a semi-realistic look at aviation. In the, like Mission Impossible is a slightly higher altered reality.
Yeah,
than the
that's
Top.
true.
I'm
yeah.
not saying Top Gun is realistic. It's not. Like
What?
it's practically Hot Shots. Like,
Yeah,
they're
that's true.
really the
Exactly,
same.
isn't it? Yeah. Well, see, I know basically the plot of Top Gun because of
Because of Hot Shots.
yeah.
Right. But no, I think there's absolutely room for this. I'll see it despite not being a massive Top Gun fan. I don't have the Steelbook or any of those things, but sure,
Yes.
why not? I'll watch a bloody Top Gun film, I guess. What do we got?
Well, the theme this week for the Loot Crate is Guardians.
Of?
Just Guardians.
Just Guardians.
Just Guardians, yeah. Just
Okay.
Guardians General. E.
So the Q-Fig,
That's from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
nice.
It's a little rocket, And little Groot is the top looking grumpy.
Very I like
good.
those ones. I like the Q-Figs, man. I like
Little Goonies tee. Very excited for this one.
Not a fan of the movie, but I do like that T-shirt.
Right? How good is it? Goonies Never Say Die. Looks very nice.
Is that too big for you?
Yeah, I think you've
That
given
might
me
be
the wrong
mine.
grade.
Yeah,
that's
they both have Weekly Planet on the box. Hey, come on!
That's right. Cough directly into it. What are you going to do about it? Anyway, continue.
Producer Charles Robin has said this about Aquaman. We're very light on news this week, guys, by the way.
That's right.
Just so it's clear. Wonder Woman's kind of cleared the space. I think there might have been 3 or 4 Spider-Man trailers, but who knows at this point?
Yeah, I got a new one before Wonder Woman this week, and there was even more footage. There was even more new footage. Initially, it seemed like an old trailer.
That's
and I'm
so
like,
weird.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I can watch this one.
Yeah.
And then there was more new footage in it. I don't understand.
Because we never get trailers on time here.
Yeah,
and yet
right.
You somehow managed to
Yeah.
see a new one.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
don't know.
producer Charles Robin has said Aquaman is definitively set after Justice League and will reference that film because he says a movie between Batman, Superman, and Justice League wouldn't work.
Okay.
I don't really feel that that's... yeah, I mean, is that a surprise to you
No,
at all?
not at all.
To you at all? I mean, what would you even fit in between these movies? It's just him being a prick in the water, just drinking, just being a real drunk.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch that.
Me too,
He
right?
seems mean, and I enjoy
Yeah.
that. But hey, good on him. That's one I'm looking forward to. I like James Wan. It should be a real fun time. That's enough of that story. It's a non-story. I shouldn't have put it in.
But you were light on news.
I was light on news,
You're
mate.
light on news.
What are you gonna do?
Exactly, yeah.
Here's news.
Okay,
Here's the
right.
news. The Rock and Angelina Jolie are rumored for the Dark Universe. You know
Oh.
the universe that's it's all the monsters, all the universal
Rock and
monsters.
Angelina Jolie, you know what that means?
Well, how do you feel about that?
That The
Those-
Rock is in every movie.
Well, yeah, but do you think they suit those roles? Last time the Wolfman, because wasn't the idea behind a Wolfman is that he's a regular man, but then he turns into a big Wolfman? But he's kind of already a big man. Is he just like?
Was that the rumor before? Have we spoken about this before and
I
forgotten?
don't think we have. No,
Okay, right.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume that when I think of the Wolfman, I would assume... Oh, actually, that's not necessarily true. Like, remember the last version of the Wolfman? Who was it? It was
Benicio del
Toro and Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
And they feel kind of... I actually like the idea that the Wolfman, even in their human form, is kind of large and threatening.
Okay, right.
Like, and you go even like they've got some wolf-like aspects.
I'm trying to think of the name of the Jack Nicholson Wolfman film.
Wolf. It was just called
Was it
Wolf.
just called Wolf? Because
yeah.
he was a bit threatening,
That's
wasn't
what
he?
I'm talking about.
Okay,
yeah, like
yeah.
I like the idea of that, but I think also The Rock goes too far into that.
Right, we've talked about that before, where some roles he just might be too big for. Like he's
Yeah,
going to
right.
be the big trouble in Little China guy. And it isn't one of the appeals of that original character is that he talks about being the strongest and best man in the world.
But he's just some idiot in a tank top.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But The Rock might be the strongest and best man in the world.
Yeah, I mean, in a pinch, you could just lift the truck and put it on his back.
Yeah.
And just walk through Chinatown.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah. But hey, if he wants to get on board, fantasto.
Yes.
And Angelina Jolie, I mean, we talked about this last week and we settled on Eva Green.
Yeah, it's
But,
Bride of
yeah,
Frankenstein,
Angelina
yeah.
Jolie 100%
Yeah,
works
sure.
as well, yeah. I don't know whether she'd do it. Does she do this kind of stuff anymore? Last kind of commercial film she did was maybe Maleficent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anyone like Maleficent?
I didn't.
Okay,
I think
then.
some people liked it, but
Right.
Disney, I think, learned a lesson that people don't want dark and gritty reimaginings, prequels for all their villains.
Well, hopefully she hasn't discovered that people don't like dark and gritty reimaginings, and she'll do Bride of
Well,
Frankenstein.
it's monsters, man. That's I'm all for it. I am looking forward to The Mummy. I've heard it's got some genuine scares in it. So I'm like, okay, I'm up for this dark universe.
I don't like genuine scares.
You don't like genuine
No.
scares? You like being safe.
Correct.
But speaking of genuine scares,
Yes?
Warner Brothers, there's talk that Warner Brothers might sue Universal for using the term dark universe because we talked about this last week.
Yes.
Their Dark Justice League movie was going to be called Dark
Universe, right.
It shouldn't be called Dark
No,
Universe,
it
though.
absolutely
Call
shouldn't.
it Justice League Dark or Dark Justice or some variation on that.
I get the sense. I reckon because we haven't. There's been no press release or any. Like, there's been no DC press release or any official. I don't think they've.
I think they announced the title. I think that
Right,
was pretty
okay.
much it.
But my guess would be they hedged their bets and they went, we're going to call it either Dark Universe if Justice League tanks,
Yeah.
or we're going to call it Justice League Dark if people love it.
Right.
And
okay,
so I
yeah.
think they're like, we wanted both options to be open and you've taken one from
Sure.
us.
Do you think they could do Dark Justice though? Or is that a bit kind of like, it sounds like a TV series?
It sure
From the
does.
night, like
yeah, like
Dark
Dark Angel.
Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they could, again, if Justice League is well received, I think they'd be happy to throw Dark Justice or any combination of Justice League Dark or what have you. But if it doesn't, I think they're going to be like,
Justice League Dark. What about Dark Justice League doesn't work, does it?
no, I hate that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but I don't know. Do you think they'll probably just reach some kind of agreement? You know, I doubt that this is going to go to court on any level. It's because
right.
it's not like Justice League Dark isn't called Dark Universe, so you couldn't really definitively say we have the, unless they may have the copyright on it. They could very well,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Dark Universe. It doesn't even, like, if it were Dark Cosmos or something,
Right,
you'd be like,
okay.
well, that's DC.
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense. But no,
It's weird also, like Dark Universe, the Dark Universe. This is getting confusing.
yes.
It's weird that that's not called the Universal Monster Universe. Because
Right,
that's what it
exactly.
is.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I don't know. I guess they will want to go with a trendier, edgier title. I saw an interview with Tom Cruise on the 7 p.m. project.
Oh, yes.
He was incredibly enthusiastic. He wouldn't answer who would win the fight between him and Russell
Wait, is it still
Crowe.
called that?
What?
The 7
PM project? Whatever it
It's
is.
called The Project?
I don't know what it's called. Look, I
Right.
saw it on YouTube. I don't actually watch it.
Okay,
It
right.
seems fine and fun, and everybody on it is probably fine. It's always on Facebook. But first of all, they asked him who would win between him and Russell Crowe in a real fight, and he refused to answer because they're
Oh.
friends. That's a cop-out.
That is a cop-out,
Yeah.
exactly. Also, Crow would crush him.
We talked about this, though.
Yeah,
He's
we did.
little and scrappy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I think it would depend. Yeah, look, I think it would depend on which of his Scientology friends was watching. I think, like, if it was just I think if it was a fight in like a back alley, I think Crow would have him.
Right.
Because Cruz would be like, "All right, you got me," kind of thing. But if his Scientology pals were all around him, he'd be like, "I cannot lose."
Yes, I'm the biggest winner in history, so I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
But no, what was I even going to say? They asked him how many they're doing, and he's like, we're doing a lot. So,
okay.
I mean, depending on this one being good, they'll do
Yeah.
at least 2, I'd imagine, and then we'll see what happens from there. But speaking of the Dark Universe,
Yes.
not the Dark Universe Justice League movie, they also said that there's news that Blumhouse, who did Paranormal Activity, The Purge, and Get Out, they might be doing the like lower budget films in the series.
Okay.
So you'll get your Mummy, which is like $150 million
Right.
or whatever it is, and then they might do like a, what's that, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and do it
Sure,
for
yeah.
30, I assume.
Right, okay,
So
yeah.
I like that, though.
Just do it in a local aquarium.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's right, exactly. But I like that. I'm like, not every one of these needs to obviously be $200 million.
Yeah, right.
The same way that not every Marvel character needs to have its own movie. They can be a TV show or whatever.
And it could be, so there's like a role-playing game, I don't know if it's still around, but like back in the day, there was a role-playing game, it was called the White Wolf Universe.
Right.
And it was set in the world of darkness, which is like our world, but everything's a bit worse kind of
Right.
thing. And like, so you could, and so there were like werewolves and wizards and changelings and or vampires and what have you, but also the rest of the world just kind of grotty and ruined as well.
Okay, right.
And so that kind of works in the sense that you can have the Frankenstein and the Wolfman and and the Mummy and all that sort of stuff, but just a movie about a psychopath that hangs out in the dark universe,
Yeah.
who's just like, who's heard about this and is just like, I'd like to do some murders too if I, wouldn't
love
mind.
murders.
I love murders.
Yeah. No, I'm bang up for that.
Okay.
And they've got a pretty good, like, Blumhouse, they make decent films for what they are. I'm not a paranormal activity guy, but Get Out obviously speaks for itself. The Purge, I saw the second one. Like, I enjoy it. I like the premise more than I think I enjoy the movies themselves.
Right, sure.
But they're solid enough kind of horror movies. How does The Purge work? There's a whole lot of, I don't know, like,
Do you mean logistically?
yeah, logistically, it's a whole thing, and I don't know. I don't want to get into it.
How often is the Purge? Is it once a
Once
year?
a year, yeah.
Okay,
It's
right.
yearly, yeah.
Are there a lot of people that hold grudges from the previous Purge?
I'd imagine so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
And there's
Or are you not allowed?
the first movie, which I think kind of the premise is kind of squandered a bit because it's set in just a house, and they go after Ethan Hawke's family, who he deals in the Purge like security systems for homes.
Right, sure.
So you look out the window and you see your neighbor sharpening an axe, and then you put down a steel wall.
Put down the axe-proof
That's
window shields.
exactly, yeah. But the second one, it's about like a couple and a bunch of other people getting stuck on the street, and Frank Grillo, Crossbones.
Oh, yes.
Who's going out to do some purge. Because he's got one guy in particular he wants to kill. He helps them like get through the city.
Huh.
Yeah, which it's
Okay, that's fun.
it's fun. It's real fun.
Sounds real fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what's next, Mason, in the box of in
What's
your box
next
of
in here? I
tricks?
don't know how this relates to Guardians, but I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a Star Wars mindfulness coloring book.
Coloring books are back in a big way.
back in a big way, right?
I know several people who are on the coloring book bandwagon.
Coloring book tip.
Yeah.
So look, they've given me all the classic Star Wars colors. I think that's brown. A nice,
yeah, an Obi-Wan robe brown.
a nice cornflower blue.
Yes.
They've given me all the lightsaber colors. So
Yep,
that's
yep.
good. So if I'm let's see.
Is it Star Wars throughout the ages, or is it just like
It's
episode
like-
7?
It's like an assortment of, so we've got like a nice
Oh,
1970s
a
Han
young
Solo,
Han Solo.
doing a loosey goosey blaster grip.
My
But then
fave.
we've also got like kind of like some abstract like repeating patterns.
Oh,
I think
very
look
good.
at a bit of this, bit of
Ah,
R2,
okay.
R2D2.
You gonna give that a go?
Yeah.
I wish I had time to do that.
Is a General Grievous.
A
right there.
universe.
Yes.
Did you say Dark Universe? Is that what you said?
No. Oh, I can use my light green to color in this Death Star. Oh, it's
So
good.
good.
It comes with a little pencil, and a little sharpener. It's good to
Oh,
just
it comes with a sharpener.
yeah. It's good to just just open your mind and bring peace to your thoughts by coloring in the universe's ultimate death machine. I think that's always good. Anyway, good
I
time.
believe so.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And then I can draw some C-3POs.
Haley Steinfeld is to star in the Bumblebee spin-off titled Bumblebee, Maverick.
Nice.
No, I don't know what it's called. But she's from...
This one's nice.
That's a Yoda.
It's a
You got your
Yoda.
green
It's got a
ready.
little
He's lifting the
Dagobah
X-Wing.
kind of situation.
Yeah, I see what's going
Looks
on.
nice.
I remember when he did that in the movie. Yeah. Haley Steinfeld, you familiar with her?
She was the young woman in that Western True Grit.
Yeah, she was
And
good
now
in
she's
that.
a pop star, I think.
Is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
She
I
does
saw-
like all the pop songs. Here's generally speaking, if I hear a song on the radio, it's got a female vocal, and it's not like Nicki Minaj or Ariana Grande or Demi Lovato
Right.
or one of those. It's Haley Steinfeld.
Okay.
Yes.
I did not know she was also a pop star.
Correct.
I saw Edge of 17 recently with Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
Where he plays a teacher. It was fun. It was a fun
Okay,
kind
cool.
of teen fun time of fun.
Nice.
Anyway, Bumblebee spin-off, great.
Great. Sounds great.
We played a terrific Transformers, we won't spoil what, Transformers
yes.
game for Caravan of Garbage coming up in the next few weeks, isn't it?
Oh boy.
What a treat.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, the one from this week was, we did Mortal Kombat V versus DC Universe.
That's right.
That's up already.
Because we tried to find a Wonder Woman game, and it turns out there aren't none.
No, and I did mention that in the video, my review, and people were like, what about Injustice? I meant solo game.
And also crap. if like a crap one. Like Injustice
Yeah,
is quite good.
that's true,
So,
exactly. No, I don't. I quite like Mortal Kombat DC.
Yeah.
I think it's
Look,
serviceable.
I enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah,
But in looking back.
yeah. No, having played in because I bought Injustice 2 recently. That is a stellar game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's good. Good. Haley Steinfeld is doing it good. Great. Mason, have you watched Sin City 2 yet? That you've
No,
got
I-
loaded on your iPad, ready to
Why
go?
would I have?
Well, don't bother.
Oh no, why?
Because the Sin City reboot TV series is happening. It's going to hew closely to the graphic novels. Their words.
I thought you were going to say it's starring Hugh Closely.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Hugh Closely.
1960s heartthrob Hugh Closely.
Is that a real
No, he's not
guy?
real. Made him up.
But also, it's a far departure from the films introducing original characters into the timeline. What do you think of that, Mason? A reboot. Sin City. It's set in the Sin City-averse, but so none of your actors are back, but all the
Other characters are back?
None of the actors are back, but some of the characters are back.
Huh, okay.
Yeah.
I reckon very few of the characters will be back.
So,
But that's the thing. Like, I think, again, because that film and that just the comic is so stylized,
yeah.
it would be weird to put, say, any other actor in the role of Marv or
Right.
or like.
But this is a reboot, so
Yeah, I
they're
guess.
gonna have to.
Like, I guess you could put in like what
Ron Perlman,
no, the other one.
the other
He's
Ron
he's like Ron Perlman.
Gary Busey,
No,
Gary Shandling,
no, he's in Lord of the Rings.
Gary Sinise,
No,
Michael Ironside,
no, he's the Hobbit in Lord of the Rings.
Gimli,
No,
Frodo,
yeah, what's his name?
Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood. That's the other Ron Perlman.
The other Ron Perlman
No, I'm
is
kidding.
Elijah
No, I was
Wood.
just thinking Elijah Wood because Elijah Wood is like that.
The killer,
the
yeah.
Charlie Brown-esque,
Yeah.
all grown up killer. Like, I guess you could replace Elijah Wood with somebody else because the character never really speaks,
Right.
And the face is like the glasses are the centerpiece of that character,
Right, yeah.
But
everyone else you can't really...
also, that character's real dead, right? Got
Well,
eaten by
it's
dogs.
a reboot, Mason.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, all right. I guess there's more. You know what? There's more stories to tell in that universe.
Yeah.
And again, we've probably reached the point where there's a Sin City filter on Adobe Premiere or whatever.
I bet it's real cheap to
and
do.
you can just flick a switch and everybody's in Sin
Yeah.
City.
You can film the entire thing on green screen.
Yeah, right.
They didn't build anything.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I mean...
I guess you could reuse all the old Sin City sets, and by Sin City sets I mean green boxes and also CGI models.
Yeah, I think the only set consists of you hold a steering wheel and there's no car, nothing.
That's
it's
right.
all,
You're on a rooftop too. It's real
You're
weird.
on a bloody rooftop. So,
Look, there's more stories to tell in the
Yeah.
Sin City averse. So,
have you read much of Sin City?
I
Can't
yes, but
remember
many
whether
years
I have.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I have, but I don't really remember it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyway, I know
Is there a channel attached to that, a network or
there
a
is, but I
cable
can't remember.
channel?
I can't remember what it is.
But it's not like NBC or something.
It could very well be.
Oh,
but
jeez.
I don't think it is.
Holy moly! Will
me
you have a look at
just,
that? In the
double
meantime,
check it for you.
I tell you what else is in here. We got some Destiny patches. You ever play Destiny?
No, but I'm
looks
thinking
great.
of getting two.
The universe to me looks great.
Yeah.
And I wish I cared
Well-
enough about shooters.
Well, I've heard one. Well, it's not just. It's a whole bunch of other stuff. But I've heard one has a lot of unfulfilled potential. So I'm hoping two is going to kind of meet that. Because I
it's
also
got-
heard the patches are also quite good that make it much better.
This literally is patches.
Oh, very good.
It's 3 patches.
Very good,
Yeah.
Mason.
But yeah, I don't know, because whenever I see a trailer for it, I see like they're sort of Guardians of the Galaxy-esque characters, like, you know, like weird armored heroes and all this sort of stuff. It looks fascinating to me, so I want to get in that universe.
Okay, good. Well, you'll need a PlayStation 4 or something like that. You're going to get one of those or what?
Yeah, at some point.
Okay, this is from the Weinstein Company doing it.
Okay, right.
So
that makes sense.
They maybe did the last one.
Yeah, that
presumably?
seems like something they
I
would
have
do.
no idea. Yeah.
Speaking of, there's a fan theory on the internet, speaking of universes and gritty universes, that the Gotham universe, the TV series Gotham,
which people keep saying it's good.
people
we should
keep
get
saying
back to
it, but apparently the last couple of seasons are super grim, and the fan theory is that this isn't the universe of Batman. This is the Earth 3 universe where everybody's evil. So this is the origin not of Batman but Owlman.
Okay.
Right?
So Bruce Wayne becomes... Though is Owlman Bruce Wayne?
It depends on the version. So some versions of Earth 3, Bruce Wayne dies, and it's his brother, Thomas Wayne Jr., who survives, and he becomes Owlman. But in some versions, it is Bruce Wayne. He's just a prick for some reason.
Cool.
Yeah, right?
I'm bang up for that.
Yeah, me too. I'm not going to watch the rest of the season,
Nah,
but if
if they introduce Owlman, I'll tune in for that one.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's probably not, because fan theories often turn out to be...
often wrong.
Yeah.
And also,
often better.
And also, how are you going to introduce Owlman and not have everybody laugh very, very hard?
Yes, that's true. Well, Batman had to start somewhere.
Yeah, I guess so.
didn't
I
he?
mean, you have to have the scene where he's at his fireplace, contemplating how he's going to scare a superstitious and cowardly lot of criminals, and an owl gently floats through his open window, just sort of glides in and sits there, and he's like, oh.
Does the head spin?
Yeah.
He's like, interesting.
And then he goes,
turn the
"Hmm,"
neck.
and then he turns his whole head around. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like universe is due for a time jump.
Yeah, I agree.
To like modern day-ish.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing a Bruce Wayne training around the world kind of... We've talked about this before, kind of movie, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean... We've got that movie. I mean, show. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Mason, I know you said anything to watch before we get started, and I said no, but then I realized that there was the Murder on the Orient Express trailer.
Oh, I did see that on my own. Yeah, that's right.
What did you murder on the Orient
Boy,
Express?
they sure had some strange facial hair back in the day, didn't they?
Didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an all-star cast.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp as the guy who's been murdered.
Yeah, nice. Okay, good.
Helen Mirren. No, the other one. Judi Dench.
Judi Dench.
Daisy Ridley. Josh Gad.
Yeah.
I can't
Kenneth
remember.
Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh also directing. This actually has taken the
Well, that's bold.
Yeah, he's taken the release date schedule of Fantastic Four 2. That was
Right, okay.
Remember that one?
Yeah, the perfect antidote to Fantastic Four 2.
A Murder on a Train. Now, having not seen the original, there's been a few adaptations of this, or read the book that it's based on, do you
Yes.
think they're going to keep the same killer? Bearing in mind, I don't know who that is, so please don't spoil it for me.
Okay, right.
If
That's
you
a really
know.
good question.
Yeah, because I'd imagine a lot of people going into this would know or would look it up.
That didn't occur to me.
Because you're a dummy, Mason.
Yeah, I know, I'm a dummy. I'd never would have figured out who the murderer was. I'm not the greatest detective in the world, as Poirot points out.
I love. He doesn't say I am the greatest detective in the world. He says probably, or some variation on that.
Right,
If you think you're probably the best detective in the world, you're not, because you're not sure of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
if he
I
was the
see.
best detective, he'd know. And even if he is and he doesn't know, then he's not. Or he is. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Go on.
I think you could say you probably are and actually be, but that's...
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
They'd have to go through some weird plot gymnastics to make the murderer in the book not the murderer.
Do you know who the murderer is?
Yes.
Okay, right, yeah.
But, well, I mean, it's not even that. It's just they'd have to... You couldn't just go, okay, well, everybody assumes it's this character because they've read the book.
Yeah.
And then be like, but instead all the evidence points to this person. I think you would have to do some sort of fake out where you think it's the original killer,
Right,
but then
right.
it isn't, or they aided and abetted the real killer or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Or time travel.
But do people even watch these movies?
Or time travel.
Or
I
time
said.
travel, yeah, that's a good point.
Go
That's
on.
maybe. Do people even watch these movies to be surprised? Like, who's going to this? Is it people who are very familiar with the work of Agatha Christie and they just want to see Kenneth Branagh act the heck out of Hercule Poirot?
You better believe
that
it.
Belgian bastard. Or is it a new generation of people who are bang up for a mystery on a train all of a sudden?
Well, I think the way they've cast it, they're banking on both.
Or is it for fans of Source Code
Yeah, it might be.
who want that time travel we were talking
Yeah,
about?
that's very possible. I mean, you look at the cast though; it's a mixture of like you got your Dame Judi Dench,
Yep.
but then you've got your Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, right.
So I think they're just trying to hit everybody.
Yeah,
so I
I
think that's
guess.
actually quite smart.
Yeah.
And also, Kenneth Branagh is a good director.
Yeah.
So I think there's a very good chance that this is going to be pretty solid. Probably the best
Oh, the best Agatha
Christie detective, whatever.
I reckon people are upset that it's a different Poirot as opposed to, the Poirot.
He doesn't look like Poirot from the TV series,
show,
at
right?
least.
Yeah.
It's weird. I've never seen this. Like, I don't know, because I watched so much British TV growing up.
Yeah, right.
Like it's always British TV in my house. So many murder mysteries. So many The Bill.
So many murders in the midsummer.
So
How do they have time to slowly row a rowboat on a small polluted lake when there's so many murders happening in the midsummer?
All good questions. I could sing you the Rumpole the Bailey theme song, Mason.
If you could.
Rumpole,
Rumpole.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, great, good. You're bang up for it. We'll
Yeah,
see
I'll probably
it.
watch that,
Do
yeah.
people want an episode on that?
Almost certainly know.
We're doing it.
Okay, great.
Now let us know on Twitter
Yeah.
at Wikipedia Brown at Mr. Sunday Movies if you want a bloody episode on that.
Or an episode on Rumpole of the Bailey.
Yeah, but God no.
Or an episode of Yes, Prime Minister.
Or Pie in the Sky.
Or Heartbeat. Or Yes, Minister, the prequel to Yes, Prime Minister.
They're both really funny. Those
they're
shows.
funny, they're funny, they're
good,
funny
yeah.
shows.
Yeah. All right.
Or The Young Ones.
What's that one of the old retired detectives? I hate them. New Tricks.
Oh, right, okay.
Because
I've
they're
not
all
seen
shit
that.
detectives.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
Oh, you know what? There's a classic Lut pin. It's
Very good.
Mr. Airbender guy, but you can use it to download the new Groot #1 and the new Rocket Raccoon #1
Very good.
for freebies.
Very good.
If you got this Lut crate, if you didn't, you bang out of luck.
Yeah, shut up.
Just go and watch trying to think of another terrible BBC series.
A lot of these are pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. You're right. Go and watch Only Fools and Horses. Go and watch an episode of Only Fools and Horses.
Go and watch Some Mothers Do Have
Of
'Em.
them. Yeah, exactly. That's
Well,
right.
if you did miss out on this box, fear not, because next week's month,
Next week's month.
this month's theme is going to cover Spider-Man, Transformers, The Hulk, DC Comics. Are you on the quest for epic gear, Mason?
Yeah.
Well, you get it every month, so you don't need to be.
Oh,
You can
well,
relax.
that's a load off of my mind, if I'm honest.
Luke,
Really
I-
stressing about it.
It's the best surprise that you know is coming. There's an epic range of pop culture for less than $20 a month. It's wearables, accessories, all that kind of stuff. Also, they do other boxes. They do the DX, which is like a premium version.
Loot Anime.
Loot Pets, all of that. So also one subscriber for next month or this month's box will get will win the Mega Crate, which has got a whole bunch of. I can't remember what it is this month, but before it's been like PS4s and a bunch of stuff like that. But I can't say that that's what it is this month because I do not know.
This month it's a PS5.
That's right.
The one prototype.
It's got no games on it.
But boy, it's great to look at.
You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive this month's box. And when the cutoff happens, it's over. And if you go to lootcrate.com/weeklyplanet and enter promo code weeklyplanet, you get $3 off any new subscription.
Nice.
So you can win that thing as well, whatever subscription you decide to get. So that's weeklyplanet.com. Sorry, lootcrate.com/weeklyplanet. Promo code weeklyplanet, $3 off. I'll link that all below. I don't know what that's about. Any more news, Mason?
That's it, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Wonder Woman, Mason.
Woman.
It was expecting to have originally a US opening of about $65 million. People were like, yeah, it'll do like a Thor or whatever, you know what I mean? It'll make some coin.
Yeah.
But it seems like that on the back of, it seems like universally positive reviews, it's going to make over 100 million.
Now that's pretty good, right?
That's really good. Yeah. That's, I mean, I don't think it won't be as high as Batman, Superman or Suicide Squad. But that's still.
But that's ultimately the fault of Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, isn't it?
It's not going to be as high. I'm saying
that's what I'm saying. It's their fault.
It's their fault that
they ruined the concept of going to the movies to see a superhero film.
People
are like, I'm a bit trepidatious here, if I'm honest.
I would argue that there are good moments in those films.
Yeah, I know.
But we're not going to get into that today, except we will.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely going to come up. We're going to go non-spoilers, then spoilers as we do for all times we talk about movies, except if the movie's real shit, then we'll just talk about whatever.
What happened last week.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Pirates 5 also had a massive drop-off second week.
Makes sense.
Last week was like the lowest opening for that particular weekend ever.
Wow.
Or since like 98 or something, because it was Baywatch and it was Pirates.
Right.
And both of them went well under what was expected.
Huh.
Yeah, so good. Make better things. And also they're blaming critics. They're like, Rotten Tomatoes ruined the movies.
It's not how Rotten Tomatoes works.
Just make better movies and people will see them. That's generally what happens. You know, anyway, I'm not going to get into it. Baywatch. What were they thinking?
I haven't seen it yet.
No, me neither.
It looks fine.
I bet it's not.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Mason.
Yes, hello.
We've returned to the DC universe 100 years in the past, and it makes me wonder what you think the story was.
Oh, no! Okay, hang on. All right, give me a minute. So, it's 100 years in the past.
Correct.
Uh,
Exactly.
Yeah.
To the year.
1917?
Yeah.
Ooh. So...
Wait, that's dated this episode. I should bleep that out.
Yeah, otherwise it'd be evergreen.
That's right.
Yeah, it's very true. So, Steve Trevor is a pilot in the World War One.
Yep.
He's flying about.
Yep.
And he having a bit of engine trouble.
So stupid, those planes. Just an open cockpit, you wear a scarf and goggles. It's the dumbest thing you could do.
Yep. You've just got grenades rattling around by your feet. That's where you keep them. There's no guns on it. Anyway,
No, it's ridiculous.
Anyways, he's having a bit of he's about to hit the bloody drink.
Yep.
But then he arrives on the mystical magical island of Themyscira,
Go on.
where he meets Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's all the information you need.
That's right.
Yeah, she was obviously introduced in Batman, Superman. I didn't really think of much of that appearance. I've talked about this before. People are like, it's the best. I've reviewed this. I did a review.
Yep.
Well, look, you don't really need to watch it because we're going to talk about it now.
Exactly. Also, it's not really a spoiler. This entire movie is set in flashback, in which there are also other flashbacks.
Yes. Flashbacks within. Anyway, what'd you think?
I had a really good time with this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think it was like, this is a game changer in every way and our comic book movies will never be the same?
No, but
But
it was very good. And also, not a game changer for us, because we're a couple of dudes who've seen like 10 million of these.
Yeah.
Maybe for another, perhaps a different 50% of the population of the world. Maybe better.
Fish.
Maybe a kind of a...
What are we talking about here?
Huh?
Fish.
No, I said 50%.
No. Is the other 50% fish?
Yeah, it's fish. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fish are flocking to the cinema.
That's right.
To see their icon, Wonder Woman.
And soon ladies will flock to the cinema to see their idol, Aquaman.
I also enjoyed it. I don't think it's perfect for reasons we'll get into. I think there's a lot of similarities story-wise to the first Avenger.
Sure.
Which again, we'll talk about in spoilers. But no, on the whole, I thought it's kind of a standard story in terms of an origin and like a superhero film. But that's also kind of what DC needs, because the movies that we've had so far, with the exception of Man of Steel, they're really convoluted storytelling-wise.
Yeah.
And this is just kind of it's a through line, start to finish.
But I also think that that's not entirely the idea that you can just throw somebody into a superhero universe. I think 10 years ago or so, that would have been more difficult.
Right.
Because you have to explain what a superhero is and that they exist in an interconnected universe and what have you.
Yeah.
But now that everything's an interconnected universe, or is trying to be, the idea of going like, okay, here's a gang of super criminals, have at it. Like that could and should work.
Yeah,
It's just a
absolutely.
shame it didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is more back to basics. Strip
Right.
back.
Yeah. One of the strengths I thought of this.
Oh no, he's
Fucking
having
hell.
that stroke that I was hoping for.
I thought Gal Gadot,
Yes.
or Gadot. I get corrected both ways.
Yeah, right.
I get a lot of
Yep.
kind of like, no, I'm from there, and this is definitively this. I think it's Gadot
Yeah, or Gadot.
or Gadot. Actually, I
Yeah.
think it's Gadot.
It's Gadot.
Anyway, I think she was really, really good.
Me
I don't
too.
think she's the best actress, but this role seems to be, she's kind of made it her own. And even though it's some of the dialogue she kind of spouts, it's a little clunky, it's a little ham-fisted.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's like, she's got a genuineness and a naivety and a strength to her that I think absolutely works.
And there's some emotional, because a lot of people are like, oh, she got the acting chops or what have you, and there were going to be some, we see the lead up into some emotional scenes where she has to put her herself on the line kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, we're going into something like this, and I'm like, is this going to be awful? And
right,
she pulls them all off. I think she's got that. It didn't. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
And she also looks great as Wonder Woman, bloody dead on. And when she's kind of, I didn't buy all of the fight scenes, not because of her, because there's some kind of special effects stuff that I don't quite like. But when you see it's her or a stunt person, kicking the crap out of somebody, or flipping about and doing swords. It looks good.
Yeah, I agree.
For the most part. What did you think about that though, in terms of, I don't know,
fightings?
Yeah, fightings, I guess.
Yeah, good. I think. Yeah, it's good to see her in actually fighting real people.
Yes.
On real sets.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Avengers where it's a bunch of CGI aliens or.
Well, not
or
even
whatever.
that, but I'm thinking more about Batman v Superman, where she's just fighting Doomsday.
Yes.
In a wall of fire, fighting a CGI man.
And there is a moment like that, but I guess we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Towards the end. But no, I said this in my review as well. I really feel like, and Patty Jenkins, the director, aimed for this. She does have that kind of Christopher Reeve kind of esque thing about. I don't know what it is exactly, whether it be the inspiration or the way she carries herself, but I really think she's.
It's not afraid to be cheesy.
No,
a little
exactly.
bit.
Yeah,
And she's come out on social media and saying that, and being like, why can't there be a character who's kind of earnest and wants to save the world, and there isn't a layer of irony over the top of her?
Because that's what I really want this version of Superman to be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's. I think it probably will become that after, especially
Sure,
on the back of this. But
Yeah.
no, I found her really convincing in that aspect.
Yeah, and there were also some nods to the Christopher Reeve Superman in that scene where we've seen in the trailer where there's a fight in an alley and she deflects the bullets with her bracelets, and it's in the first Superman, right? Where
Superman
Superman
catches a bullet.
Like Lois Lane ducks for cover and he catches the criminal's bullet.
Pretty good.
Criminal's wearing a nice sport coat.
He is. Actually, I just did an Easter egg video, Mason. It'll be up by now, and that's in there along with many other Easter eggs.
Hello.
There's more than I thought in this, because I'm like, it's in the past. There's not going to be that many, but there's there's a lot in this.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
I'll
link that below, but people should check that out if they care about Easter eggs and what they missed and what all those.
Or what tenuous links can be made by people on the internet.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
Funny little numbers and little symbols and what have you. Just
let
your mind run wild. And
should we talk about origins in?
Oh wait, did we talk about the fight sequences and stuff?
No, we will.
Okay,
but I do want to touch on her origin.
Okay.
Should we talk about that in spoilers?
Yeah, I guess we have to. Yeah.
Because I mean,
this has been shifted from.
Well, even if you say that, I think that is a spoiler.
Okay, right.
because,
We're going to. Okay,
anyway,
right,
we'll kind of. We'll get into it. But action sequences though, yeah,
Pretty good. Excellent.
great hand to hand. There's that.
Yep.
There's a bit where she goes into no man's land,
That's great.
which is fantastic.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks horrible and muddy. And if you ever seen like All Quiet on the Western Front or war films of that era, that's
Looks
what
like
it looks
Dunkirk, but cool,
Yeah,
man.
cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But there is that kind of sense of hopelessness and just guys and women as well in this case as well, just like stuck in the trenches. Just
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
towns are
But
just
then, what's good about it, now that you mention it, is that it does seem like this. It does seem hopeless and dreary and awful. But then we've got this character who's this kind of beacon of hope.
Yeah.
and she's like, "What are you waiting for?
Enough of this shit,
Let's
yeah.
get in there." And it kind of there's a lot of, I think, in that action sequence. Like, I think maybe in the hands of a lesser director or an actor that doesn't suit that role as well, that would have felt quite naff and like,
Yeah,
why is this
absolutely.
happening? Why, because you can't, like, it's difficult, I think, to throw a superhero into a war situation and not have it seem like kind of.
I think Captain America does it well.
Yeah.
But there are examples of
Yeah,
it not
like,
being as
you throw it in and, you'd go, yeah, these people are fighting really hard. Don't throw a superhero in here and make it seem like it's easy kind of thing.
Right, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then she's this beacon of hope and then people follow her into battle because
That's right. And
she's this inspiration.
because also, and you see from that pretty early on when she's in no man's land, she can't do it by herself.
Yeah, she's not
and the troops
indestructible.
have to rally. But that is by far my favorite action sequence in this film because it
agreed.
goes for it extends into a town and there's a tank and there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on.
right.
And she goes into a building and that part was fantastic. There's a few moments where you see where she kind of jumps in the air and it looks a bit kind of like Neo in the Matrix when he turns into a CGI man.
Yes.
There's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't notice it if you kind of don't have an eye for it. But
there's a bit of, no, I think you would. There's a little, when they make it to the town in the no man's land scene, there is a bit of like a little shade of the Burly Brawl from the Matrix
Right, yeah.
Reloaded kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where there's people running and whipping and
Whipping and
spinning,
kicking.
whipping and kicking and spinning,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
You couldn't have done that on a real camera rig.
No, I don't feel so.
Yeah.
The early stuff in the movie where that we go to Themyscira,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think of all that? You've got this island of women, really really well cast. Well, there's the two main ones in particular, Robin Wright and the
Robin
woman
Wrong.
got her, the woman who's not Diane Lane. What the
Yeah.
hell's her name? It's not Annette Bening. It's
not Annette Bening.
It's definitely not. Anyway, I like those guys
There was
as well.
no Linda
yeah.
Carter cameo in this, as far as I know.
No,
That's
she's
interesting.
thanked. She's thanked in the credits.
Yeah, right.
It's in my Easter egg video.
I quite liked it. I think all the Amazons do very well, considering I think a lot of them are athletes and like
Yeah, one of
MMA
them's a
fighters.
boxer.
And,
yeah.
right. Mm-hmm. So
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm.
I found it a bit cheesy. There's a bit where she's watching the Amazons and she's a little girl and she's doing like the kicking and punching.
Oh,
I'm
right,
like,
yes.
You could have just kind of stood there, but okay,
Right.
whatever. She's
Yeah.
a little kid and she gets
Yeah, right.
excited, though. Yeah, a few moments like that, I'm like, whatever. But no, on the whole, it was a really good representation of that culture from what we've seen in the comics.
Yeah,
and obviously it draws a lot from Greek mythology and all that kind of thing. And
Uh-huh.
and a lot of this stuff is from watching all the B-roll. It is on location. They've gone to places like this.
Oh.
There's a few moments where it's a bit wonky. There's a bit where the little girl jumps and then,
Yeah.
and then her mum catches her, but you see the blue screen behind her. and
Right,
it's
sure,
not,
yeah.
It's not great, but on the whole, no, it's a really well fleshed out world. There's like market stalls and and all that kind of stuff. I like it, Mason, is what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Oh.
Who else is in this? What else have we got?
Christopher Pine.
Christopher Pine. He's good.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's good, charming.
Yeah. Do you think he would have been a good Captain America? Or was he too smug?
He's a little smug, yeah.
Yeah.
He's too roguish.
Yeah,
I
in
think.
a good way though. Like he
Yeah.
suits this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not earnest enough to be
Yeah.
Captain America, I
Which
think.
which suits him for this because he's kind of a good counterbalance to her because she is so.
Also, his head's too big to fit in the helmet, I think.
Is that the hair or
Yeah.
the head? Could be both.
Could be both, yeah.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. But no, he's a good kind of counterpoint to her because he's kind of seen the real world and he's jaded by war, and she's because a lot of the times the things that she's pushing for, he's like, that's not going to work. Don't do it.
Right, sure.
Sometimes he's right and sometimes he isn't.
Yes.
And I like that kind of dynamic between the two.
Yeah, and he's jaded. She is more optimistic, but she's not naive to the point where she's an idiot,
Yes.
which I was concerned was going to be a thing. But,
Right. Yeah.
but it
Absolutely.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was also a little bit concerned that it was going to be like just a superhero movie, but they reversed the genders.
right. Okay.
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
he was going to be, the damsel in distress all the time.
Right,
And she was
yeah.
going to be the hero all the time. But I think they got a good balance. Everybody got a good amount of screen time. Everybody got a good amount of heroing.
Did they're not the Howling Commandos.
They're sort of...
I like him.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, see, I've never seen them in a comic book, but I've seen the Black Hawks.
That's what I put in my video,
Who
yeah.
the sort of the World War II flying aces.
Yeah.
And this...
Well, one of them put a picture of that on their Twitter. So I think that's who they're supposed to be.
Right,
but
yeah.
they never called that.
No.
And none of them are pilots.
None of them are pilots,
Yeah.
exactly right, yeah.
As far as I can tell.
Yeah, so like, but I also... I thought that, but initially I'm also like, but often these ragtag teams do have similar archetypes. Like there is often like a strong, silent Native American type,
Right.
And like a Turkish man in a fez, and
Yes.
the third one, some sort of
Scottish or British?
He's Scottish. I was
Irish,
going to
I
say
can't
an Irish
remember.
or Scottish man. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did they work for you?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well. I think the other DC movies, they lack humor that this kind of has. And we've talked about before, well, you talked about specifically last week that people seem to be against humor in their comic book movies. They're either really funny or they have to be deadly serious.
Yeah, right.
But I think this did a
Which
good...
I'm always like, if you're buying into the premise of people putting on rubber suits and punching each other in the streets,
Yeah, yeah.
you got to buy into it being a little bit funny.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I think the level of humor in this really works, and what really kind of sold it for me, I watched the Batman Superman clip with Wonder Woman because for videos and whatnot, and there's that really weird line where Superman's like, "Is she with you?" and Batman's like, "Oh, she was with you." I know it's supposed to kind of be a joke, but it's
Right.
clearly made just for the trailer, and it doesn't even make sense in the context of the film.
Yeah,
because
right.
Batman is the only one out of the two that knows who she is.
Yeah.
So it's weird that I don't know, but this, I feel like the humor, it worked in the context of the film. It wasn't just like, oh, we'll use this funny bit and we'll put it in the trailer
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
I'd also like that those characters they weren't just stock. They have characteristics of some of those archetypes, but they weren't just stock characters. They all had thoughts and dreams and problems and what have you.
Yeah, perhaps even more so than what we got from the Howling Commandos as well.
Yeah,
'Cause a lot of those guys, I don't really know what they're about. Dum Dum Dugan he's the leader and he wears a bowler
Bowler hat for some reason. What's
Yeah.
the origin of the bowler hat? We'll never know.
I don't know. And I'm not saying those guys aren't good in their own right, but I couldn't, I'm not really sure what all of them are about. But this, I feel like, and maybe because I haven't seen that movie in a while, but this, I got a good sense of each of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think the Scottish guy is the guy. Is he the?
He's train spotting.
Yes. Is he the guy who flies the plane in the rundown?
He might be.
Is he also the guy that gets dragged by his tie by Vinnie Jones in Snatch?
I think he might be as
Yeah,
well.
okay, right, just checking.
Let me check.
Okay, right.
What's his name?
Dunno.
Yeah. Hang on.
Why would I know?
I'm going to look that up right now.
Okay, if you could.
So I'm going to start at train spotting.
Okay.
Because that one, and he's also in,
I'm going to start at Wonder Woman. We'll see if we can find ourselves in the middle.
he was also in, he's in Michael Bay, but he's in Pearl Harbor.
Oh.
Here we go.
Bless him. There he is. Ewan Bremner.
Yep.
He's in Snatch.
Yep.
He's in Train Spotting. He's in
Get Santa.
Black Hawk Down.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He's in Snowpiercer. This guy's in a lot of stuff.
I don't think he's in the Rundown.
Oh, man, that's a good
That's
movie.
a good movie, right?
Are you sure it's not Welcome to the Jungle?
It might be another work.
It is. He's in Welcome to the
There
Jungle.
you go. All right, cool. That
There
guy's
you
great.
go.
Yeah.
For those people who don't know, Welcome to the Jungle was called The Rundown in Australia.
It's got The Rock in it.
Yeah, it's a good film. Or is it?
No, it is.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ewan Bremner.
Yep.
Hard to say, isn't it? Bremner?
Oh, and Lucy Davis is in this as well.
Yeah, she's good. Etta
She's
Candy.
great.
She's fun.
Yep.
I haven't seen her since Ugly Betty, I want to say. I'm sure
There you
she's
go.
been in other things, but no, it's always good to see Lucy Davis. You a fan of The Office? British
Yes.
Office? Yeah. Okay, what about structurally? You got your third act, you got your
Yes.
CGI and you're
yeah.
jumping about.
Yeah.
Do you think it does fall down a bit there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way that a lot of superhero movies do, like in the way that like first Iron Man does, in a way that I feel like Man of Steel does.
Does that? No, see, that's the thing. I don't think that the first Iron Man does fall down in that way.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
we've got the two...
It's got the guy that goes mad for no reason.
It does have that, but it's also got... And it's got the two dudes in CGI suits hitting each other with stuff.
Yeah.
But also at the end, the masks come off.
Yeah.
And there's actual human emoting and stuff like that. And
Right,
you can
okay.
actually tell what's going on.
Bad example then, Mason. I
Yeah,
apologize.
one of the
yeah.
worst.
But the villains in this, one of which we won't talk about because of spoilers, we get standard German guy who played the dad vampire in 30 Days of Night.
Yep, and
who was
also Stryker in
And we
X-Men
get-
2.
And we get Dr. Poison. Great. thought they were. There's a weird moment where one of them poisons a room full of people.
Yes, I was just going to talk about that. I thought that was funny. Can we talk about that in non-spoilers?
Okay.
Okay, they poison a room full of people. It's not really relevant where or when it is in the movie. But then they, like...
This is in the trailer. The poison can break a gas mask.
It's mustard gas.
Yeah, but...
you know what? Full credit to them for not making it like some sort of super high-tech future space nerve gas or whatever.
There is a bit of that, which I want to talk about.
Yeah, but also I think they were just like... You know what? Mustard gas is really bad. Let's just have her invent mustard gas.
I thought it was like it's next level mustard gas because it can melt a mask.
Right, okay.
But it is essentially mustard
right,
gas, yeah. But anyway, go on.
Oh yeah, so and then the dad from 30 Days of Night throws one gas mask into this room full of people.
Yeah.
And they close the door and Dr. Poison says the gas mask won't do anything. And he's like, oh, but they don't know that. And they both sort of go, ooh, and then they run away, which I thought was very funny because it was like, they were
Did you laugh out loud?
Yeah, kind of. Because they were like sort of cackling,
Yeah.
like old 1940s serial villains.
Right, yeah.
Or like,
And that's what they are.
yeah,
really,
or like, like Marx Brothers villains or something like
Yeah,
that.
sure, yeah. Yeah. But they were both kind of suitably creepy and off-putting. In particular, her.
Yeah.
I like the design of the mask. Because if you look at the original designs of the character, it's just a woman in like a Walter White-esque kind of one suit kind of thing with the domino mask. But no, I thought they were both really good.
Did you ever see Boardwalk Empire?
No, I didn't.
Because there's a character on that. He's a sniper, and he's come back from World War One.
Yeah,
and he has had he's been ruined by the war, and he's had similar thing happen where they just sort of plug a porcelain mask over to cover what was ruined, kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
It's very interesting.
Yeah,
and gross.
And gross.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to jump to spoilers then?
Let's jump to
There's
spoilers.
a bunch of stuff I want to
Before
talk
we do
about.
that, I'm going to say best movie ever. I had a really good
I'm
time with
also
this
going to
one.
say best movie
They
ever.
got one right finally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and some people would argue that they're all winners, Mason.
Name a person who would think that.
Big fans of all these movies.
Oh, for the fans. There's people who are a fan in the sense that these movies are for the fans. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so spoilers. Do you want to talk about origins first?
Yeah, let's do it.
So the origin of Wonder Woman in this is they take elements from the New 52 and they also take elements from the original Wonder Woman.
So she's made of clay, allegedly.
Yeah.
But she's actually not made of clay.
She's made of a god, half of.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the physical strength of these women on this island? I mean, they're immortal.
Yep.
But they can be shot.
Sure, right.
So where are we at? Also, how old is Wonder Woman? I saw like 5,000 years old, which would mean that at the start of this movie, because she still seems very naive.
Yeah, right.
In terms of that society, but I guess in a society where everybody is 10,000 years old and you're 5, then that's how. You would
exactly.
Kind of be perceived.
I guess you would have to estimate, like, what time in the world of antiquity Zeus existed, and then what time this epic final battle happened, and etc.
Yeah.
What did you think of the flashback as told in like Greek mythological relief?
I thought it was
good.
Really cool. Yeah.
Could have been a bit ropey, but it was good.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Funny story, Mason. I'm speaking
yes.
to the people who made that on the internet.
Oh yes.
And I might be getting a little bit of do some stuff like just a bit of insight into.
So what you're saying is they're going to turn us into sort of Greek gods in relief.
Correct.
That's fantastic.
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
So yeah,
excited for that.
So I'm going to do a video about some stuff around Wonder Woman. Hopefully, if there's enough kind of information. But yeah, no, they worked on that thing in particular. So that's pretty cool. No, because I also like that because as a parallel to Man of Steel did a similar thing, but with Kryptonian technology.
Yeah, right.
And this did that, but with
that's true.
With this kind of world, building, universe, But no, so they changed it so she's the daughter of Zeus, like in the new 52 version, which I think it makes more. I like that origin more. What do you prefer? Do you prefer the just a clay girl springs to life?
No, I prefer this version because then she is more. It's weird that she lives on a world. She lives on a world of Amazons who are, to some degree, real women, and she's just a clay person. Yeah, that's odd, right?
Yeah,
even with magic involved, it's weird that she's a clay person.
Yeah, exactly. And if you see the original panels where she's born, it's literally they mold a girl and then they look at it, and then it comes to life.
Yeah,
like
right.
that's literally
Also,
it.
what are they doing? What are they doing? Yeah.
All good questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a kind of a Pinocchio scenario, I guess.
I feel perhaps one element of this origin that falls down a little bit is they're like, don't tell her what her origin is.
Yes.
Don't tell her she's this
100%,
thing,
yeah.
kind of thing. But I'm like, what would it matter?
Yeah.
If you tell her on Themyscira,
Themyscira.
it shouldn't make any difference.
No, it's one of those situations where that's really handy information to know.
Yeah.
Because the reveal is that she is the weapon that's going to destroy Ares, not
Uh-huh.
the sword. This is the people who are listening who haven't seen it but are still listening, I guess.
What are you doing, you fools? You're ruining the experience.
Yeah, but no, that's kind of that's handy information, and I get that they maybe didn't tell her to protect her but when she's going out into the world.
Yes.
You want to know that going into that fight.
So of the two twists, were you surprised by either of them?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was because I heard a rumor that David Lewis was also Ares, but I thought the other one was also. But even if I didn't, I thought the other was too obvious that it wasn't that guy.
Yeah, but so
Also, that guy's a real guy that exists in history.
oh really?
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
made him Ares.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
No, sorry. The guy who's she thinks he's Ares.
Ah,
is a
okay.
real guy.
It's a real guy. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
more sense now that I
Yeah.
think about it. Yeah, so like when they're like, he left the God Slayer here, and she's like, can I see it? And she's like, I'm like, oh, it's Wonder Woman. It's not the
Yeah,
sword. The
that's
sword's
right.
just a regular sword.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the minister's like, here's some money, go and do this and Godspeed or what have you, I'm like, he's the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's
Not everybody knew that though, Mason.
not Danny.
It was a
Danny
surprise.
Houston can't be the bad guy all the time. Is that his name?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Let's just call him the dad vampire.
The dad
from
from
30 Days of Night.
Yeah,
That's a great movie.
it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I like the origin. I think it was a good kind of retelling. What I thought was really weird and out of place, but then they kind of explained it, so I guess I'll give it a pass. Dr. Poison makes a magic which makes Danny Houston strong.
Yeah, right.
And I guess because Ares told her that, because he's whispering these kind of ideas and formulas into her ear to make her to do it. So that I guess that's some kind of magic that she's crafted there. A pill that you snap.
No, I don't know. I don't think necessarily it's magic. I
Right.
think it's maybe just he gave her some weird inspiration and she had the evil genius anyway. So she's like,
Okay.
I'll put my genius towards this today kind of thing.
What I do find hilarious in hindsight is Wonder Woman like kicked the shit out of that guy.
Right,
Like he was a regular man and she just fucking
right.
just like slamming him into concrete and kicking him in the head.
I mean, he was a Nazi.
Yeah, well,
What
not
a proto-
really.
he was a proto-Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought that was
pretty good.
That's quite
Yeah.
funny.
So speaking of, if we can jump to the final battle and then back to some other stuff probably.
Yeah.
That final battle is where it all sort of, it didn't fall down, but I feel that him turning into, I was like, at some point I'm like, at what point is he going to turn from being a nerd into a jock? Because otherwise it's not. Like, the audience is not going to feel it's a fair fight if she's fighting this guy from season 3 of Fargo. Is he in Fargo? I think
Yes.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when's she gonna stop beating on this mustachioed nerd and start fighting a real manly dude? And then then the CGI armor pops on and I'm like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
But
I liked that the armor wasn't like a traditional Greek armor in the sense he was just grabbing what was around him.
Yeah, okay,
and he
yeah.
fashioned it into like you
Yeah.
could see that it was bits of broken whatever.
yeah.
I
And again,
like
like
that.
I feel that this final battle worked kind of as more of a metaphor than it did an actual fight.
Right.
Where it was more, it wasn't about she had to find a way to kill him or she had to, find a weapon that he couldn't defeat or anything like that. It was more just, it's more like she's dealing with the devil in that he is, offering her ultimate power or to destroy the world and then rule the universe or what have you.
Yeah.
And she has to see through that and defeat him on a
Metaphorically.
metaphorical sort of emotional level.
Right.
Because the fight wasn't that great.
No, it certainly wasn't. And the bit in particular that really stood out for me was, and they seem to do this in a lot of DC movies, it's just CGI lightning and smoke and fire and just skidding through a blue screen.
Yeah.
And just, that didn't look great for me. Like, I didn't need any of that. And it's weird that she killed like 100 guys and then he dumps Dr. Poison in front of her and she's like,
No,
not this one.
Not this
That's the one you killed.
Yeah, not this mass murderer. Yeah.
Like everybody else there, you're going to get the sense, especially when the Germans take the masks off.
And
Also,
they're just like-
Germans weren't the only ones on that side of World War One. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. But Yeah, you see their faces,
and they all
they're
just
like,
sort of embrace,
"Oh,
and they're kind
they're
of
all
like
people,"
And then
and
the Native
whatever.
American guy like shakes the hand of the other soldier, and he's like,
Yeah.
"It's all right, we don't have to fight anymore," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Those guys are just. Those guys thought they were in like that's World War One. Those people thought they were getting into some sort of adventure.
Yes.
And then every single person was in way over their heads.
Yeah.
Immediately.
So yeah, God, crazy.
Yeah.
The water will end all wars, they said.
Haha. We know better.
Yeah, we do.
People in the future.
Yeah, that's right. Idiots.
Yeah.
In the past.
That being said, the No Man's Land battle was incredible.
Yep.
And I enjoyed the callback where Chris Pine saw the Amazons do the shield thing, and then
the
remember
shield
that?
thing.
Remember when
Oh,
they're
right,
on the
yeah,
beach
yeah,
and
the
she did
shield jump.
thing, and then he's like,
Yeah, that was
guys,
cool.
we're gonna do because like
We'll
you
do
know
the shield thing.
they did the shield thing.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot too. Can she fly?
I think she can by the final battle.
Yes.
Because before, like, at the point where she absorbs all that lightning and then she blasts him,
Yeah.
and then she sort of floats down on her own.
Yeah.
I think that's the point where she's like, oh, I can fly. I don't
Yeah,
need to.
or at least she's got some idea that she can.
Yeah,
And then
right.
by the modern day, when she leaps
but
into
it's
the
it's
sky,
still never 100%. Even in Batman v Superman, we still don't know if she can fly.
she does a longish leap.
Maybe that's what they get. Because do you think they're going to give her the invisible jet at some point?
They've mentioned it. Yeah,
Right,
I
okay,
think
yeah.
it'll probably be a Batman tech thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's I don't know. Because why would the ancient Greeks invent an invisible plane? But I guess you could take a regular plane and put magic on it. I guess
That's true, you
And
could.
they have the power to hide themselves because they've obviously been hiding.
Yeah, that's true.
There for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
So when Steve Trevor crashes through, was that because Wonder Woman used her power and that what kind of revealed the island?
Oh, good question.
Is that what kind of got it out
My
in the
assumption
open?
was that it's that Themyscira has always been there.
Yeah.
We're going to get a lot of emails about mispronouncing Themyscira.
Is it
Themyscira.
Themyscira?
Themyscira, there we go.
Okay, good.
From this point, we won't get any more. But prior to that, we will. I was under the assumption that it's just in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
And mankind just doesn't get there a lot.
Right.
But it's only because World War One has started and we're crossing the Pacific or the Atlantic
Sure,
or
yeah.
whichever one it is. Just by coincidence, this is the one time it's
Right.
happened.
So I got the sense that because Wonder Woman's mother says to her, hey, when every time you use your powers or whatever, then Ares kind of gets closer to you.
Right, okay.
That's what I thought was kind of the trigger
maybe,
point for. Because
maybe.
as soon as she clashed her things together,
Yes.
then Chris Pine crashes. It's
That's
like 10
true,
minutes
you're right.
later.
You're right.
I don't know that for a fact. That's just what I kind
Maybe
of...
it's both.
Maybe it is both.
Maybe it's both.
On Themyscira. You can start sending emails again.
If you could.
Yeah.
What else are we going to talk about?
What else do we have? Okay, there's a
Chris
weird...
Pine's definitely not dead.
Why do you say that?
Because...
Actually,
he's
I've got a whole bunch of
mean-
stuff that I want to talk about in sequels.
Okay.
I'm going to save it for that because I maybe want to do a video on it as well.
Oh, yeah, cool, we'll do
So
that.
shut your mouth.
You shut your mouth. All right.
There's a weird conversation about fire.
Oh, yeah, that's
A
right.
sexy fireside fire
So
chat.
when you review, you were like, it's kind of annoying that everybody speaks English.
Yeah.
But Chris Pine does speak in a German accent during that point.
Yes, he does.
So my assumption is he's speaking German then.
Well, yeah,
It's an accent
maybe.
thing.
Yeah, he might
Yeah.
be. But
I think the idea is if you're speaking in an accent, that's the language you're speaking in.
Okay, fine. Yeah,
So,
fair enough.
But yeah, wasn't the idea that he was like, this woman's a psychopath, I'm also going to
Yeah,
be a
no, I
psychopath.
thought it was
fun,
weird
right?
and fun. And
Yeah,
yeah, but then he's kind of pulled out of it when he sees Diana, and she's like, this guy doesn't like me with my weird porcelain face. He
Yeah,
likes
right.
this incredibly beautiful woman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Who has a porcelain face, metaphorically.
That's right, yeah. Okay, well, why don't we talk about bloody... actually, before we do that,
Yep.
Captain America.
Yes.
Incredibly obvious parallels between those two
That's true.
films. The plane sacrifice is the end of Captain America,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
I know it's a wartime setting. It's whether it's intentional or not.
Yeah. Look, I think the rest of it is, they're both wartime setting. I would say the rest of it is kind of coincidental or incidental.
Right.
But I think the crashing, it's weird that they both end with that, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, let's talk sequels, Mason. So Patty Jenkins she's contractually obligated to reappear, as is Gal Gadot. And you mentioned Chris Pine.
Yep.
Chris Pine is not dead, you think, because...
Well, first of all, Chris Pine, the actor, is not dead.
Really?
Yep.
He got out of that plane crash,
That's
did he?
correct.
So what did they put in there, like
Secondly-
a dog to fly the plane? How did
just
they do this?
Yeah, a series of dogs taped together. But, obviously, Chris Pine's character,
Yeah.
I'm going to say not dead. I mean, potentially dead now because he'd be 135 years old in
Yes.
2017. But I'm going to say, because, comic book fans know there's only one inviolable rule, which is no one ever really dies in comics.
Yes.
The rule used to include some other very specific characters.
It was
Bucky Barnes, who is now back from the
Yep.
dead as the Winter Soldier.
Was it Jason
Todd, who is now back from the dead as it used to be no one ever really dies except these people. Jason Todd is now the Red Hood.
Yep.
And Uncle Ben, he's still dead.
Yes, he is. Though he's been a robot.
Yeah, he's been
at
around,
some
that's
point,
true.
but- yeah.
Anyway, so no one ever really dies in comic books, and there's so many ways to do this. You can say that the person who died was a robot or a clone or a...
Not in a Wonder Woman movie,
Yeah, no, a
surely.
time travel, what have you.
Yeah.
But in this instance, the most obvious one is if you don't see somebody die, they're still alive.
Right.
So in this particular scene, he's on the plane, he's got his gun, he's going to shoot... one of the gas containers. They're filled with hydrogen.
Yep.
It's going to explode and blow up the plane. But you never see him pull the trigger, and you never hear a gunshot.
Right.
So, and there's enough time where he could conceivably think of another plan, and then do that plan.
To like
and then
rig
jump
some
out.
kind of explosive.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
jump out.
Yeah, exactly.
The end of the movie, though, implies that he hasn't been around. But I guess if you're doing a sequel to this set anywhere but in the 100 years
Yes.
between this and Batman Superman, he could reappear.
He could conceively reappear.
Like he'd still be dead, like you said, in the modern day.
Yeah, right. But he could conceivably appear in maybe, I don't know, maybe like a 1920s situation. How good would that be? Like a 1920s gangster kind of film with Wonder Woman?
I completely agree. And the other option
To
is...
die again?
To die again.
Or he could appear in a World War II kind of scenario and then die again.
Yeah, absolutely.
In perhaps a crashing plane kind of situation. And then, in the 1920s Prohibition, he could be crashing a plane full of hooch.
Oh, couldn't he? Also, there's a moment where he's bathing in water at the start.
Oh.
There's a fountain of youth on Themyscira.
That's true.
So you wouldn't even necessarily have to age him. The other thing I thought of, and I put this in my Easter egg video, you could have the Flash grab him out of time.
That's true.
The reason being that it wouldn't upset the timeline.
If he's potentially dead.
Because if he didn't exist for that 100 years, that's fine. You just plonk him in the modern
That's
day.
true, yeah.
Boom, it's fine. So I'd
And
like to
another
see him
option,
again.
and
Yeah.
look, if you remember the original Wonder Woman TV series,
Yeah.
I vaguely do.
Yes.
The first season was set in the 1940s.
Was it?
Yeah. And she had like a certain group of friends, and there was like a love interest, Steve Trevor style love interest.
Yeah.
I think it was Steve Trevor. And then, if I recall correctly, and there's no guarantees that I recall anything correctly, the second season, they're just like, I think it'd be easier if we put it in the modern day. So they just bumped her to the modern day, and then she had another love interest in Steve Trevor.
The same actor?
Same guy.
Was it his
I'm
son?
going to double check this, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it was a grandson or a grandson or something like that.
Okay.
So they
In
could
the
just do
70s,
that.
it'd be son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. So it'd be great-grandson then.
Yeah, probably.
One of the things I feel like is not a missed opportunity because it's kind of sad, but it also works for the storytelling point of view. In Captain America, the loss of Agent Carter,
Yes.
I've always wanted her to come back in the modern day,
Yep.
but I understand why you can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I totally get it, but I think in this scenario, it might be worth considering.
If we can diverge for a second, though, I think you could do it.
In Agent Carter,
No, I think you could do it
with the time gem or whatever.
with the time gem.
Yeah,
I think-
totally, yeah.
I feel, and obviously they're going to do whatever they're going to do, and they've filmed everything, right? They've filmed Infinity War and etc.
They've done one, or they're in the process of.
I feel that if there's got to be a point in time where, like, maybe like Peggy Carter's thrown in like a Hydra prison for like a week or something like that,
Right.
And so she's completely out of action.
Yeah.
And nobody knows where she is. Just have somebody get the time gem, pull her out of time. She
Yeah.
can have that reunion with Steve, then throw her back in jail. Right?
And also in the modern day, she's also got memory loss. So
Yeah,
so she
so
might not even.
She
She can't be like, Steve, we went on that
'cause
adventure in
'cause
time.
that's the thing. Like in the modern era, in Civil War and in Captain America 2, he's sad because they never had the romance that they should have had, and she doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
But that's not to say it never happened. She just doesn't remember it, and B, Steve is sad because it never happened, but it just hasn't happened to him yet.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, time travel.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, Patty Jenkins has also talked about the sequel. She said that she's probably going to make it contemporary, bring it to the modern day. But I feel like there'd be something in setting. You could do a few films potentially.
Uh-huh.
In that 100-year span, you could do your World War II movie, you could do a Vietnam era. It wouldn't even have to be set during a particular war.
Uh-huh.
But there's so much you could do within that time period.
Yeah.
Have you found out whether it's the same guy?
No, however, they did one season on ABC.
Very good.
They didn't renew it because it was limited scenarios and the villains were always Nazis. You couldn't change it up. So it went to CBS they shifted it to 1977.
Very good.
Yeah, right. You know what? It looks like they changed the Steve Trevor love interest.
Very good.
Okay, that's sour.
That's television.
That's television
You
for you.
never know.
Always ruining the... Yep.
So if it wasn't contemporary, is there a time period or a story you'd like to see happen? Or do you just like, bugger it, just make it modern day?
Yeah, I think maybe it should be time for a modern day one.
There's also...
Another period piece would be odd, and I think people would get kind of impatient.
Right.
Yeah.
And people have made the complaint of this movie that the Wonder Woman who turns up in Batman Superman is jaded because she's like, I'm sick of wars and all this kind of
That's
shit.
true, yeah.
But at the end of this movie, she's not. She's kind of hopeful and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think you need to have a movie kind of explaining why she is the way she is by Batman Superman when she turns up in that film.
Yeah.
It's 100 years. Something would have happened at some point that she wasn't happy about. But if there was a movie that kind of delved into that, then yeah, I'd be totally okay with it.
That'd be good, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing was, you can go back to the Amazons. You can go back to Themyscira. You can do a whole bunch of stuff there. Her mother's still there. It's also implied that, can she not go back?
They did say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess because it's hidden, maybe that she's lost that ability. I don't really know whether that's the case. I don't know. And I've got a tweet here from Skur.
Maybe it's like when a bird falls out of a nest. They're not allowed to come back because the mother can smell it on them.
That's actually not true.
Yeah, I know.
That's a myth. If you see a bird out of its nest, put it back in the nest.
Well, you know what? Wonder Woman's also a myth. So what are you going to do about that, hey? You're either all in or all out.
This is from Scurvy Designs, but that's spelt differently than I said it.
Scribe Designs?
Okay, so this is from Scurvy Designs.
That's not how you say it.
How do you say it?
Scribe Designs.
This is from Scribe Designs.
Okay.
Since Ares was killed and ended his influence after the war, does that mean that World War II didn't happen in the DCEU?
Oh.
I get the sense that Ares was an influence, but he's not direct. Well, like he says, he's not directly starting these wars.
Yeah,
He is aiding them, but also, even if you look at the history of World War I leading up to World War II, World War II is kind of kicked off because of the events of World War I.
Yeah, right.
They do lead into each other. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a couple of decades in between, but one affects the other. So even without Ares,
Yeah.
I think that this is still a world where World War II happened.
Definitely happened. And
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, but probably.
I mean, that's the... Yeah, I mean, in the DC universe... Well, in the DC universe, the idea is that Hitler has... Well, there's different versions of it, but I believe in some versions, he's got the Spear of Destiny,
Right.
which he can use to like mind control people.
Right.
So they can't send in you can't just send in a superhero to trounce Hitler. And also he's got a guy on his team who can nullify superhuman powers.
Ah.
So as a result, no heroes can just get in there.
Right, gotcha.
So, but some of them do, like the original Flash and Green Lantern just enlist as regular soldiers and just be like, this is what we...
Well, that's how a lot of the DC universe kicked off, or a lot of comics in general kicked off from World War II.
Yeah.
It was like, punch Hitler, go for
That's
it.
right.
Have a great time.
Have a good old time.
Yeah. So what villains would you like to see in a sequel then? She's got a few. She's got Cheetah.
I was going to say Cheetah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cheetara? Cheetah.
I think Cheetah's Thundercats.
Thundercats, yeah, exactly, yeah. Cheetah's the sort of the main villain.
Right.
And sort of co-protagonist of the most recent Wonder Woman series. Because she has very much a tragic backstory.
It's an enchanted amulet curse or something? That's not it.
Yeah.
Is that it? I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
It's some kind of curse that means she's a cheetah woman.
Look, I'll be honest, I'm not super familiar with the Wonder Woman Rogues Gallery. Like most superhero Rogues Galleries, if it ain't Batman or Spider-Man, it ain't that good.
There's Circe, a sorcerer.
Cersei? Yes.
I think it's just Circe.
It's not. You're wrong. You're wrong and bad at pronouncing things.
Themyscira
you've nailed that.
Thank you.
Pushed all the other pronunciations out of your brain, all right?
So I've got Circe, so I'm 2 for 2.
No.
I just need to nail the next one.
If we're going to put Cersei in, I feel we should have the live action replication of my favorite Batman moment of all time, which is the one where he has to entreat Cersei to remove the curse on Wonder Woman that's turned her into a pig. So he has to go to Cersei's nightclub and sing karaoke.
Absolutely.
Which is the best Batman moment in the world, I feel. Which is in Justice League Unlimited.
It is. I actually mentioned that in my Easter egg video, Mason. I hate to bring it up again.
No.
But I want to see a Wonder Woman-Bruce Wayne relationship.
Yeah, okay, cool.
They've never kind of done it. They've kind of hinted at it. They've hinted that he's in love with her.
Yeah, right.
But I like the element of... I know we just talked about bringing Steve Trevor back.
Right.
But I also like the element of he is mortal and they come from completely different worlds. Superman and Wonder Woman, they have different origins or whatever, but they're very similar in a lot of ways. They're both going to live for an extraordinarily long amount of time. They have compatible DNA in a lot of versions, so they can have a kid. Yep. They understand each other in that sense. But I like the Batman is a man who will die, and she could tear him in half with her bare hands.
Yeah, right.
But I like that dynamic in a relationship. I think I think that would be interesting to see.
Your wife could tear you in half with her bare hands.
She could. Donna Troy, who's like a clone or younger sister of Wonder Woman, I guess that'd kind of be a weird thing to bring in now. I guess. I mean, they could have had her in the basement or whatever.
Ugh, that's weird.
Guess, because she's bad news.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's also the Firstborn, which I didn't know about, but is a new villain, and he's Zeus's first son.
Ah,
and
that's fun.
he hates everybody, probably.
Yeah, I'd
so
imagine.
There you go. Those are your options, Mason.
Yeah.
Pick none of them if you want, or all of them.
Okay.
All right. Now, Mason, there's never been a girl in the regular room before. We forebode it.
We did, absolutely.
Minus the dog.
What?
Dog can be women too, Mason.
That's true. It is 2017. You're right. I was going to forebode it, but you're right. It's 2017.
That's it.
And with that in mind,
if you can hear that other voice cackling away,
I like to cackle.
You love a cackle. That's because my wife Claire's here to talk a little bit about Wonder Woman before we kind of wrap this up. Now, Claire, we're well into spoilers. You've walked into the tail end of our conversation, but you were lucky enough to attend the Melbourne premiere, a real event.
Ooh, tell us about that, because I was
all
there.
the stars from Neighbours that just happened to be sitting behind us.
They were sitting behind us. I don't watch Neighbours.
Neither do I.
But the picture you posted on Twitter, people are like, "There's people from Neighbours." Neighbours is huge in England as well. So
It is.
these people are very, very famous.
Was
Yeah.
Dr. Carl there?
No, it was a younger crew.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know. I didn't recognize any of them. In fact, one of them
That's
asked...
so passive aggressive, Claire.
I know,
Just
it's
like
really
I
bad.
didn't recognize any of them.
I only know Neighbours from the 90s.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Was Kylie Minogue there?
Yeah, if
Was she on
Kylie
Neighbours?
Minogue had been
Kylie
there,
Minogue was on Neighbours,
I would
yeah.
have
Yeah.
I would have recognised her.
In the 80s, maybe?
Was that dog that was hit by a car there?
Bouncer?
Yes.
Was Toadie there, James?
Tony
he
wasn't there. I'd recognise
Yeah,
Tony.
I would recognise Toadie anywhere.
Everybody I know who's seen Toady, most people listen don't care about this.
No.
But they're always like, yeah, I saw him in a supermarket. They always see Toady in a
Right, okay.
supermarket. Yeah.
He does look like a guy who would go to a supermarket.
He certainly does.
Or
He's
work at a supermarket. Guys.
Got
Guys.
him.
Oh,
Got him.
got
Yeah.
him.
Anyway,
Anyway.
so Wonder Woman 2017, you had some thoughts that I'd love you to share. What did you think of this this film, the first, let's say, good female superhero movie
The
since
wonderful Wonder Woman film.
since none of the others, because they're all terrible.
Yeah, they are.
What'd you think?
Well, I loved it. And I didn't think it was the best movie ever in the whole world. And
Well, there's only 2 ratings on this.
Yeah,
but
there's no room for nuance here. I don't know
So
if you know.
I thought it was the worst movie
Thank
ever.
you. Once you cross this threshold into the man cave, you've only got one extreme or the
in
other.
this world, there are only 2 ratings. No, I really loved it. And I loved it because I saw a kick-ass woman being kick-ass and I was really believable. And she
Right.
looked really strong and really fun and clever. And she knew lots of languages. And she wasn't stick skinny. I thought that was so great to see.
See, that was a criticism of her when she was cast, because she was a model, which I guess she still is. She was Miss World or Universe or one of them. I can't remember.
Well, yeah, because she's hideous.
She's
looking,
no good.
So that's unexpected.
Yeah, but she did put on a fair bit of muscle for this, and so you believe the physicality when she's skidding around a room kicking dudes in the head or whatever. Yeah,
I did. Did you? Because I
I
thought
think
that
so,
was
yeah.
unbelievable.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few special effects where I thought, ooh, that's CGI,
Yeah,
and
sure.
I didn't like that. There was that weird moment at the start when she was a little girl and then she falls off the thing.
right.
It looked
Yeah,
really
It's the blue
fake
screen
and
background.
terrible.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but I also, there was something in me that just loved seeing all of these really powerful women being powerful at
Right.
the start. And Robin Wright, I just love her.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She was,
yeah.
wasn't she fantastic? She's just so believable as a gladiator style woman. You just think, oh gosh, of course she could kick the shit out of you. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I like it.
Yeah, and I want to happen again. No,
Yeah.
I just thought she was brilliant. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. There were parts where, exactly like I said before, the CGI was a little dodgy. Chris Pine was great.
Right.
I mean, he was the same character that he is in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pining about.
Yeah, pining about. But I thought he was handsome enough and funny enough, and that scene in the cave was quite great. I
Sure.
thought that was, I know that it was kind of cliche, but it was funny and fun.
Did you think it was fun? Like, have you seen Batman, Superman, and Suicide Squad?
You know what? I haven't.
Right,
Because
okay.
you came back and said that was so terrible that I just thought,
No,
I have no time.
I don't think. I don't think you'd like them. I think maybe you'd probably like.
See, I like The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And I love that side
And you
of
didn't
things.
hate some of Man of Steel?
No, I enjoyed Man of Steel.
Right, yeah.
I did. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I just didn't see them mainly because I have a child and I
Sure.
didn't have time.
And he won't let you.
And you wouldn't let me out
That's
of
right.
the house
Exactly.
to see them.
That's how we do things in this household.
That is how. But I did see some of the shorts of her in that film though.
Right, yeah.
Kicking the shit out of everybody.
Sure.
And I really liked that.
See, I thought this was a big improvement. I don't know if you agree, Mason, on what we saw of her in Batman Superman.
Yeah, and well, it was nice to see her in the context of some real sets,
Right,
and
yeah.
some real action sequences where she's fighting actual people and not a weird plasticine ghost monster man. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That was nice. It was nice
Yeah.
to see, and again, like the CGI got a little ropey towards the end there, and that final battle was kind of.
Oh, it was very fireworksy in the
Yeah, and
background.
I think, but if I don't know, I was like, look, if we look at this as a lot of it was kind of symbolic as opposed to literal. Like, there's the bit where Ares is like, go and crush everybody, and then she just sort of runs through 1 million soldiers and beats them all up and kind of thing. Like, that didn't have to look 100% pitch perfect because you can just
Good
go,
thing.
yeah, exactly. But because you could be like, oh, it's sort of real and it's sort of a metaphor for her embracing the power of war or something.
Right,
I don't
sure,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I also just really liked the sort of semi-slow motion things with her hair flying and the fire in the background.
Some of that worked for me, some of it didn't.
I
But,
think maybe, I don't know. I think because I grew up not having that kind of role model. I know you talk a lot about how you had Christopher Reeves as Superman.
Yeah, used to pop in all the time.
Yeah, just over to the house for a cup of tea
Yeah.
with your mum and your dad.
He was having sex with my parents. That's what I implied.
Just a lot of Superman threesomes happening in your childhood.
Wow.
Nothing sus. Anyway, and I know you talk a lot about him being a role model for you as a child and then a grown human man.
Right. Well, that's absolutely.
As well,
We had that kind of growing up, Mason. We had a lot of these male superheroes, and there's been a few, and a lot of them have been in like team movies, like Black Widow, obviously.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson.
But it's weird that this is called Wonder Woman. It can be called Wonder Woman because the first Batman movie was 1989, the first Superman movie was 1978, and they were called Batman Superman. But it's 2017 and they didn't have to call it something else other than Wonder Woman because they'd never been.
There's only been the one,
there's only
right?
been
Yeah.
the
See,
one,
that's
yeah.
so crazy to me. It still blows my mind that that's actually true.
Yeah.
It blows my mind that we've reached, like, it's taken till 2017 to break that's like it's 2017 and 2016 have broken a lot of weird stereotypes of like the movie industry has gone like, well, nobody will ever watch a horror movie with a black protagonist or whatever,
Yeah.
and then Get Out makes hundreds of millions of dollars,
Yeah,
or
it's
like,
great. Have you seen that?
No, I still haven't.
It's good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Or like
I
it'll
can't
never
watch
that'll
them.
never
You'd hate it.
you know,
I
that'll,
hate
that'll
them.
never
I get
sell in
too
China
smart.
because they wouldn't buy a black protagonist and then it opens at number one or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's the same with this. It's like no one will watch a movie with a female protagonist. Of course they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, half the cinema going audience is female. Women love the cinema. Claire, you're a woman and you know women.
Well, see, this is what I find really funny. For some reason, there is sometimes still a perception that women, so, chick flicks and women films are like a niche when
Right,
they're
yeah.
like 50% of the film going population.
Yeah.
And
they only
they-
watch
and
movies with
just-
Gerard Butler and Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Oh, man. I don't mind Gerard so much. Anyway,
Oh, you know him. You're on first name basis. eh?
personally, yeah. He came round with Christopher Reeves.
Wait a
that
minute.
time.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I think they sell women short a lot, that they
Yeah.
only want to watch a certain type of film,
Sure, yeah.
I think. And just going back to that whole role model thing, even the way that we've seen a lot of strong female leads in Star Wars, even in Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson.
Yeah, they
she
changed.
had-
They changed Belle's gender. She was male in the original, and they switched it, and everybody was really upset.
Everyone got real upset.
Yeah.
No, but even just, and this is a side.
When's there going to be a men and bestiality film? You know what I mean? Well, come on.
Yeah, if the roles also reverse it probably wouldn't work, would it? Anyway, but what I loved about her character and what I think we saw in this film too was that we moved away from the stereotype of women having to have tiny waists and be super fragile. And her character, Belle, in that film doesn't wear corsets and has a brain that she uses and is a really interesting and funny and complex character. And I really liked that about Wonder Woman too. I know it sounds funny that body type is a thing, but I think for women, if you look in comic books and just more regularly in the mainstream media, it's very rare for you to actually see your own body type reflected. Do you know what I mean?
In comic books, they're all exactly the same. I mean, less so now,
Sure, yeah.
but as the standard form, if you saw like a female superhero in silhouette, a lot of the time you couldn't tell who it was.
Yeah.
If they don't have a cape or like
A head thing.
like a head thing, you'd be like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, she's just got giant boobs and like a tiny waist, and which that's great too. That's a body type, but I just think it's really nice to see a diversity of women, just as there is a diversity of blokes in film. And I think for young girls growing up, seeing a role model, a film like that, and having an aspirational, strong, and powerful woman in the film is really exciting.
Like I think you said on your YouTube review, James.
Go on.
You said this movie's pretty good, but it's not a game changer.
Not in terms of storytelling.
Yeah, but and I'd say maybe not in terms of us watching it, but I think it is definitely a game changer in terms of women watching a,
100%.
or young women watching a film and going like,
That could be me.
Yeah, exactly.
Just brandishing a sword.
All right, steady on.
Yeah, come on.
Let's not go too far, all right?
Yeah. There was one thing
Have your eye
I
out.
did say to James, which I found interesting.
You're sleeping on the couch.
You're sleeping on the couch again.
Come on, mate.
No,
You're
that's
in
right.
the doghouse.
Oh, man.
With the dog. I predicted, which always happens in films with a strong female character who's attractive and really smart, and they always have to offset that with her either not being able to walk in a straight line or fall over or be bumbling somehow. And I mean, I guess they do that too. They did that with Thor as well.
Yeah.
But they always do it with every strong female character. There's always a flaw, like she is terrible with relationships or whatever, or bumbling. And in this, it just happened. She couldn't walk through the elevator and she just banged her sword into it. And I just thought this woman can speak all the languages in the whole world, but she can't walk through an elevator door with a sword.
Sure. And look, that is obviously played for comedic effect.
I know, and it was funny.
Yeah, but there is a lot of movies where you talk about this as well, Mason, where it's a woman trying to get her boots on in the morning to get to a high-powered job and she's hopping around her apartment. Yeah,
exactly.
And whatnot.
I did think, I initially thought that her one of her flaws was going to be like that she's going into man's world and she's so naive about the ways of love or what have you. Yeah. And I thought the movie was going to take advantage of that and she's going to be like this babe in the woods, I don't know what life is about. But then they're on the boat and she's like, I've read about that. I know what's going on. I'm not an idiot.
Dicks you're talking about.
Yeah, dicks. Exactly.
I actually did. I thought they addressed that really well. And I think maybe because it was directed by a woman too, might have given that more of an insight. I liked that whole scene actually. I thought it was really well done, and it walked that fine line of showing her innocence but also showing that she knew what it was all about. And I thought that was great.
Would you give it a
I heard that.
out of our two possible rating systems, would you give it a best movie ever?
Yeah.
Nice.
You gotta give it a best movie ever made.
I have to, do I?
Yeah.
How dare you?
That's it. Or you're in the doghouse.
Oh, wow.
Get out into the doghouse.
Wow.
In the cold.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it. And I also really enjoyed the fact that I made you take a photo on the red carpet and then they searched you for cameras.
They did. Because I think it was because I was wearing a big coat, or maybe
you just look suspicious.
I looked shady, but they wanted me and nobody else was getting wanted.
Oh, really?
Except for
Yeah, they
me.
took him
The
aside.
old wand in the butt.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was right up there.
Yeah, he didn't have a uniform on. I don't know. Where can people find you though, Claire? You got stuff going on. You won't take my last name in real life, but you'll steal my last name for Twitter.
Well, I will. Shameless.
Jumping on the back of my popularity.
Yeah, I know.
Our popularity, Mason.
Yes, I know. Shameless, that's me. You can find me at www.shameless.com.
I think that'd be a TV. That
Or
might be something
it's
weird.
probably a porn.
I'll just
Yeah.
It's
double.
probably something.
I'll
We'll
just
edit that
double
out.
check
We'll edit it
that.
out. It's fine.
Actually. No, so you can find me at...
Yeah, don't go to that. That's
No.
jeez.
Is it
Yeah, it's
terrible?
real bad, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh no.
Anyway, sorry.
Quick,
go
let's
on.
buy
I'll be so
.com.au and see what happens.
No, so you can find me on Twitter at Mrs. Sunday Movies or Claire Tonti. But I'm also starting a podcast. Well, I have. I started. And it's called Just Make the Thing. And it's really just about how to start making a thing and keep on making it, because I am historically terrible at that particular thing.
Yeah, you are.
I am. Thanks. I love how you have my back over there.
There is a
husband,
moment.
man.
There is a
Well,
moment.
he's in a bind there because he can't be like, no, you're great at making a thing. Why would you make a podcast about it because you're good at it? Or he can, you've thrown him under the bus either way. Good work. That was excellent. That was excellent wifing there.
Well, I'll link that below. But
Yeah.
you do it with your friend Chanel, who's a mutual friend of ours, and so it's a discussion of you guys. Well, you talk about building Planet Broadcasting because you are the driving force behind it and getting all.
I'm driving the bus.
You absolutely
that you
are.
are falling under.
But we're sitting at the back of the bus, aren't we, Mason? Like cool kids.
Like
Yeah.
throwing fruit out the back of it.
That's
like
not
you
true. I
would.
never did that.
You did that.
I would never do that.
You
That's how you
did.
guys met.
And so you and Chanel talk, but also Chanel's also starting is running her own business as well, starting that up. And then you want to get guests on and the like. Is that the idea?
Yes, it is. Thank
And
you,
who's your
James.
first guest, probably?
Well, I don't know. Some dude. I don't know. I was thinking of asking
Probably
you.
Gerard Butler.
Bloody
Yeah, I
is.
know. But then Gerard Butler came along and I
Yeah.
thought, hell
Yeah.
yes.
If you can pry him off my parents, maybe.
That's right.
Yeah. I thought that was Christopher Reeves. Your parents really get around.
They're the
They love getting cucked. That's what his parents are all about.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so, well, other than Christopher Reeves or Gerard Butler, I'm going to interview you about
Yeah.
how you make your thing. And then I'll interview other people too. So,
Absolutely.
I'm really fascinated by what drives people to create things. And I know people in the community as well all make things. They make
That's
so
right,
many
yeah.
things. They make so many cool things. And so I'd love to hear about those things too. So tweet me about it. And I think it's really interesting to kind of listen to and find out why people create things and how they keep creating them, because I have this habit where I have a whole lot of ideas and I'm really excited to start them and then I never finish anything. So
this could go do 2 episodes.
yeah, it definitely could do. No. But that's part of it, I think,
Yeah.
keeping myself accountable. And I also love roping other people in. That's why Planet Broadcasting is still going, because I've roped
Great.
everybody in and they all keep me accountable.
Cool.
So that's kind of what we're doing.
Awesome.
Tracking my journey.
All right, well, I'll link all that below. Also, you're going to Europe this week, leaving me alone with a kid. So
I am. 2 whole weeks of freedom.
I'm Mason, you're going to have to move in. We're
Oh,
gonna do
sure,
that,
yeah.
We're going to do that awkward
Great.
parenting thing.
Oh, fantastic. We can assemble those bunk beds. It's going to be great. Finally.
No, I am leaving because I'm going to speak at a fancy podcast conference in Copenhagen.
You weaseled your way into
Yeah, I did. I weaseled my way in the back door, but I'm going to try and record some interviews over there too.
sweet as.
And I feel like they're all just going to tell me to get out. But anyway,
No,
I'm there. I'm
look, if they
speaking.
don't understand that there's no point having a conversation unless it's being recorded for content, they have no business being at a podcast conference. If you ask me.
All right, thanks for stopping by, Claire.
No worries. I will go now.
Should we move on to the next thing?
Oh, our famous segment, What We're Reading.
What we
You
gonna
gonna
read?
read?
Before we get into that, actually,
Yes.
can we just put a hold on that for
Let's
just
put a
1
pin in
second?
it.
Because
But
luckily,
this segment is rattling in my hand. I'm holding that spoon thing on the side of the segment, what we read and what we're going to read. And if I let go of it at any moment, we got 3 seconds to get into what we read and what we're going to read. All right, else we're all going to explode.
fair enough. I have some, but I do have some Wonder Woman hate mail. I
Oh,
know
yes.
we just did hate mail, but
Yep.
the hate has an 8 in it.
Great.
But anytime I do a review where I don't completely love or completely hate something, then obviously you're going to get some kind of backlash. Hate mail is a segment where I read 8 pieces of hate mail from the internet, from
Yep.
my YouTube comments, but it's never 8.
Uh-huh.
But it is always hate, isn't it?
Yeah. It's probably for the best.
All right, here we go. This is from Aliens Exist. Bold statement, but all right. I've watched a few videos, regrettably, and you seem like a big Marvel fanboy. Do you really need to put good, not great in the title? Like you didn't want to admit it or something?
What does that mean?
Well,
That's literally you admitting
yeah.
it.
I put that in because I'm like, maybe people don't want to watch it. So
Fair enough.
there's
yeah.
my
Yeah.
my thing. That's what I think. This is from Maxim. Fuck you for pretending to like a shit movie.
Good point.
Just because
Is he
it's-
referring to Wonder Woman or just
yeah,
generally?
No, these are all Wonder Woman related.
Okay, right.
Because it's the first female superhero-led one. Movie was borderline unwatchable to the point that it might have been better if there was some feminist propaganda or a dumb comedy.
What's going on there?
I don't know.
It's almost like different people have different opinions of films.
No, fuck you makes
That's
it.
true,
Sorry,
you
me
are.
specifically.
Yeah, you specifically, yeah.
Yeah. From Kalo B. Couldn't finish your video, bro. Your voice is okay. Not good. Try again when your balls drop. It's not going to happen now. I mean,
No, it's too late.
It's too late, isn't it?
They're wedged way up there. Yeah.
This is Rinstinct.
Oh, wow, you've drawn a lot of hate with an 8 this week.
I have. Piece of shit Marvel fanboy.
Nice, good, that's you.
Silver Tongue.
So wait, so people this time around, yeah, they're very mad at you for liking Marvel too much.
But also not liking... No. They're like...
But also not hating this.
But not hating this, yeah.
Right. It's a very narrow, ever-shifting band, and if you're not in it...
That's right.
They hate you, which is good.
So this is from Silver Tongue 101. That's not a bad username.
That's
I
good,
like that, yeah. Ooh. Wow, this review was very wrong. Either that or they only pretended to have seen the film.
I was just going to say, when was the last time someone accused you of only pretending to see a film?
Yeah, so there you
Right.
go, yeah.
Yeah.
This one's from Mr. Shire. That Chris Reeve comment was basically stolen from Chris Stuckman's review. Hack. All the YouTube reviews went up at the same time as well. Because
Fantastic.
of the embargo, but yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah, right,
I didn't
okay.
see that review until after.
Wait, so what they're saying is that only this other guy has seen Superman
Yes.
and the thing with the bullet
Yep.
thing, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Even though you, as a child, saw Superman.
That's
You
right.
and have remembered it, and it's one of your most defining, like, childhood movie memories.
Yeah, but I don't remember
You
it.
don't remember it, though. That's what I thought, yeah. That's what I figured.
This isn't a great bit of hate mail, but I like the username.
Okay.
The username is better than you.
Yeah, very good.
So-
That's good they got that.
And it just says this channel is overrated trash.
Nice.
Lone Wolf says, it says 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and you're talking about Marvel movies? Good, not great. I smell a Marvel fanboy. Boom.
That's you.
Yeah. Also, we talked about Rotten Tomatoes before. 97%, it could still be a lot of people who didn't love it but liked it. It's
That's, yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to get into it.
People
We're
don't
talking
understand a Rotten Tomato. It's just if you said it was overall good and whatever, that counts as a fresh.
Yeah.
It can be not. It can be 100% fresh because 100 people out of 100 said, yeah, this was
like
pretty
a
good.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, this was a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
100% fresh.
Yeah, exactly. This is from Isabel. So women can be hateful too, Mason.
Oh, yeah.
Bitch, this movie was awesome. Shut up. This is from Pineapple Tart.
In fairness, you are a bitch.
I know.
Yeah.
Pineapple Tart. Always got to be one reviewer to clickbait by going against the grain. Did I go against the grain?
Well, which way are you going against the grain?
I don't know, yeah.
I think at this point you're going against the grain because you didn't say it was great.
Okay, right. Gotcha.
But later on, you might be going against, like the reviews might switch up the other way,
It's
and then
very
you might
possible.
be being a bitch for being against the grain and saying it
No,
was
that
good.
was the other person who called me a bitch.
Oh no, they were implying you're a bitch there.
Okay, this is from a whole lot of Asian symbols that I can't read. Could be Chinese or Japanese. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Could be Korean.
It could be Korean.
Are there any little circles?
No.
Okay, then it's not Korean.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good, not great. What an arrogant piece of shit you are, LMFAO. After going through your review, I think you are a fucking hypocrite moron, TBH. DKY, I even sub to you in the first place.
Can you ask him why he did?
I guess
Ask
I
him
could.
specifically what video he
I'd
caused
have
him.
to find the comment. And I can't search for it because I can't find that username.
Oh,
Yeah. And this is from music. So just music.
The concept
I guess.
of music,
The concept
sure.
of music.
Maybe the band The Music. Do you
Could
remember
be.
that?
Could
Maybe
be.
it's Madonna's album Music.
Oh, is that a good one?
No.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh,
then.
some of it's alright.
Okay.
It's good. She's got a good producer on it.
6
Anyway.
out of 10?
Yeah, 6 out of 10.
Okay, good. Another pathetic hater trying to sound different by hating on Wonder Woman. Fuck this review. And don't you fucking dare try to praise the shitfest Captain Marvel when it drops, or I'll expose your ass, bitch.
Jeez, all
Oh,
right.
sorry, or I'll expose your bitch ass.
Well, a lot of people are calling you a bitch this week.
This is a good week for hate mail.
Also,
I
he's
feel.
pre-written his Captain Marvel review, and it's not coming out for like years.
Yeah, it's like 2 years away.
Jeez. Gee whiz, this guy.
No, music.
Oh yeah, music. Yeah, got you there. That's true. Yeah. Look, as an entire form of entertainment, I guess
Yeah.
it's qualified.
Absolutely. I love the spectrum, though, of that.
Yeah.
I love hate
Do you mean
mail
you
with
love
that
that all those
spectrum.
people are on the spectrum? Is that what you
Yeah,
like?
that's what I enjoy, yeah. No, I love when you don't like it enough or you... I got the same thing for Some of my best hate mail came from one of my Fast and Furious reviews. Where I was like, this is great, but it's also the dumbest thing in the world.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
Anyway. How dare you?
Anyway, now it really is time for what we're reading.
Oh, we're reading what we're going to read.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today?
I haven't read it yet, but I've got it ready to go.
Okay.
I've got a couple of issues. I was recommended this from the Serious Issues comic book group.
Good
Which is,
podcast.
a good podcast. They have a Facebook group where they discuss comic books.
Interesting.
And someone who I forget who it was, but they recommended a comic book called Spencer and Locke, which is essentially hard-boiled, gritty detective Calvin and Hobbes.
Does one have a cat's head?
Yeah, so the idea is that it's about a detective and his former sweetheart from primary school turns up murdered.
Right.
And he has to in order to solve the crime, he takes it on in order to solve it, he has to go to the only person who can, which is his imaginary friend. From when he was a kid.
Very
so it's like
good.
Calvin and Hobbes, except there's murders.
That's great.
Yeah, so the art looks it's got some kind of if you can see that, it's got some sort of Calvin and Hobbes style flashbacks kind of thing, but then murders.
Yeah,
so I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Do go on did a
On Bill Watterson.
Bill Watterson this
Calvin
week.
and Hobbes, that's why it all came together. And
I think
I
it's
should check this out.
Watterson, or is it Watterson? Am I 3 for 3, Mason?
Watterson. It's Watterson.
Okay.
It's Bal Watterson.
Bal Watterson.
Bal Watterson.
Very good. Mason, I'm all over the shop this week.
Oh, yes.
Or should I edit this in earlier, or just leave it here? Who cares? Well, I'm doing
Do whatever you feel.
Okay, so this is, I wanted, some people wrote in with some Wonder Woman opinions. Bugger it, we'll just put them in here. Who cares? I don't think there's any spoilers in this, so if you've dropped back in after the non-spoilers, welcome back. Here we go. This is from The Roy.
Ooh,
Just saw Wonder Woman. Loved it. Definitely a step in the right direction for DC and a challenge to the MCU. I would agree with that. This does edge it a bit closer to what Marvel are doing. This is from CJ Volts. Wonder Woman's Act 1 and 2 were great and empowering. Act 3 went a little off the rails, though. Overall, best DCEU movie yet.
Agreed.
Hannah loved Wonder Woman, especially how it subverted the usual superhero gender roles without reducing men to buffoons. John something says, went and saw Wonder Woman. One of the guys I saw it with fell asleep, so that tells you how it was. 6 out of 10. That's still a positive review though on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's true on Rotten Tomatoes. That's edging up on 100% fresh, baby.
This is from Evan. Just saw The Wonderful Woman, and I can't help but wonder why it had so much slow-mo. # just a movie. Did have a little weird slow-mo. Not a lot.
I think because I think they were like, okay, listen, we have faith in you as a director, Patty Jenkins, but you also have to adopt some of the stylings of
the Snyderverse.
Yeah, the Snyderverse, I think.
fair
And they're like, listen, you need slow-mo and fire.
Then why isn't there any in Man of Steel?
Well, done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's from Dempsey. Wonder Woman was a better Superman than Superman. Her movie was able to accomplish the one job of a superhero: to inspire.
I was going to say property damage.
This
Mass scale property damage.
Serotonin. Just saw Wonder Woman. Loved it. Lots of incredible, cheesy / undeliverable lines, but gave it a pass for the excelling in everything else. And this is from Zach Vanderbush. Just saw Wonder Woman. Felt like a cross between Captain America and Thor. Definitely the best DCEU movie.
There you go.
Best movie ever, he says. All right, getting back to the what we're reading, Mason.
Yes.
I'm what we're reading. I finished F is for Family on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
That's Bill Burr's. I'm gonna say it's like The Simpsons because it's animated, but it's a 1970s family, and it's a terrible universe where everything's your job sucks and you're unemployed and whatever, and everyone's screaming at each other and swearing. But I love it. I think
Who's
it's
the
great.
dad? It's Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. Yeah.
Okay, right.
I think it's really good.
Because the dad looks like Patrick Wilson from like Watchmen. When
Yeah, he does.
He's got the too much hair on the sides and he's all fat and depressed.
Yeah. But no, have you seen it before?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, there's 2 seasons now on Netflix. It's definitely worth checking out. And I'm also going through Game of Thrones. I'm up to season 2. I'm gonna watch them all before the new season drops. Here's some Game of Thrones news for you, Mason.
Yes.
The last season, which is I think 8, might be pushed back a year.
Ooh.
So we'll get one this year, and then the final 6 episodes we might have to wait a year. You don't care though, do you? Because you're just like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't care. Exactly. You're absolutely correct.
Got anything else that you're reading or what you're reading?
Nah, it's been a quiet week for me.
Then give me some bloody theme song, mate.
Okay, I will do that. Theme to our new next segment. It's called Letters.
Classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away. Hang on to here right now, we're gonna do letters.
In honor of DC making a movie,
Oh, yes.
my 2 tweets are DC related.
Hello.
I trust that your letter is also.
Yes, it is.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
almost like we coordinated.
We didn't know.
We never do.
Yep.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
So this is from Dale Cleland. Dear James and Meso, it's his 21st birthday this weekend.
Happy-
This week. Happy birthday. He's hoping for a shout out and some of your classic Australian slaggings.
Shut up!
Stop piss farting around, you drongo.
What you rooted didgeridoo?
You've got a face like a sucked mango.
You got a head like a kicked in knee.
Yeah. Anyway, hi. Happy birthday. Anyway, Dale says, who would you, because this is something I didn't think of until just now, but it's true. Who would you like to see as the role of, I think about, talked about this before, but I think it's relevant now.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see the role of Green Lantern in the DCEU? Because
Yeah!
the new
This is my tweet. I got a tweet about that as well.
because the new DC
EU.
Studios,
It's hard to
what's
say,
it
isn't
called?
it?
The DC
DCEU.
The new DC movie title sequence thing has every member of the current Justice League, and then at the end we get Green Lantern.
Uniting the 7.
Yeah, right. So
prophecy.
clearly he is the 7th. It's not Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
he's the 7th member of the Justice League, as we were promised to unite the 7, but that never happened.
No.
Now,
Yet.
in that in the thing we see a Green Lantern looks like Hal Jordan, but also we see an Aquaman that looks like classic
This is
comic
exactly
book
what I
Aquaman.
said in my
That's
Easter
what
egg
I'm
video,
talking
yeah.
about. So
Also,
like,
we're getting Green Lantern Core, which
Yeah.
means we'll probably get a Hal Jordan and a John Stewart.
yeah, and a Sinestro.
But which is the one we're going to get first, though?
yeah, is the question.
Who do you think? Do you think they're going to go
Well,
classic?
Dale is holding out hope for an Idris Elba John Stewart.
Right, yeah.
Although it will never happen, he says, but it might.
Yeah, mine.
Well, does he have a non-compete clause with Marvel?
I don't know, well, Josh Brolin's, what's his name? He's Thanos and he's
Yes.
also Cable.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And he's also
potentially.
somebody in the Sin City universe, right?
Yeah, one of Marv. I don't know. He's not Marv.
a mayor or something, or
Yeah.
a crooked businessman, or one of those sexy ladies wearing fishnets that hangs out on a rooftop.
All of those things are possible.
those, yeah.
He might be the character Clive Owen plays before surgery.
Right.
I haven't seen. Is he in Sin City 2?
I don't know.
Don't email in.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Actually,
So Josh Brolin is the answer.
yes, he would be a good Green
Yeah,
Lantern.
right.
You've said before you want an slightly older Green Lantern who's been off in the universe and comes back and goes, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
What
because
happened?"
Look, I very much like the idea in the DCEU
Yeah.
that it's been insane in this world for 20 years.
Yeah.
But for some reason, some people don't know this, or like, I like the idea that we're being thrown in this universe, but it doesn't really make sense if you consider Man of Steel.
Right.
Because people are like, this was just a normal world, and then suddenly Superman's here. But if you go up to Suicide, and then with Batman Superman, it's like, yeah, some weird stuff's been happening for a while, and then Suicide Squad, it's just like, everything's crazy!
That's one thing I did like about Suicide
Yeah,
Squad.
me too.
It was really good at expanding characters.
Yeah.
And so we got magic and mutants and all sorts of stuff. That's one thing I really enjoyed.
So yeah, I
Hmm.
like the idea of, this older Hal Jordan who went off into space before any of this kicked off.
Yeah.
And he
thinks he's the only
he
weird
thinks
one.
yes, that would be great. And he's like, I'm gonna show back up and look at me with my magic ring. Oh, there's a crocodile man and a magic sword and a giant monster destroyed Metropolis and everybody can fly. Is there anybody normal left? I don't know anymore. I would like that. I don't know.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But I don't know. Nathan Fillions would be a good Hal Jordan, like an older Hal Jordan.
Sure,
but
yeah.
He's Wonder Man now, allegedly.
Well, allegedly. Well, he's not officially,
Yeah,
so
right.
it's very possible. So people have been throwing up the name of Tom Cruise
Yep.
for age, but he's in the Dark Universe, isn't
That's
he?
true,
So
yeah.
I don't think he'll jump over.
If you said to Tom Cruise, you can be part of this, you can be a small part of this franchise, or you can be the linchpin of a new franchise that's yours.
Yeah.
And you can be the king of this franchise by being the guy from The Mummy.
He'd
Does that mean
choose to ride
Does that mean he's the
motorcycles.
mummy?
No,
it's
the mum.
weird.
No, the female mummy is the mummy.
No, but I mean, it's isn't it weird though that the Dark Universe, like the team, is going to consist of a Frankenstein's monster and a wolf man and a creature from the Black Lagoon and a vampire
And Russell Crowe.
and then just a guy who met the mummy once.
No, I've said this before. I think he's going to turn out to be Van Helsing, or maybe he's given mummy powers,
right? Yeah,
or whatever.
He turned into sand.
He turned into sand. Yeah, exactly.
What about Channing Tatum as Guy Gardner?
Yes,
That'd be good, right?
Give him the bowl cut as well.
Yeah, right.
Because he's got a big dumb head.
He's got a big dumb head.
He'd look good
He's
with
got
a
a
bowl
big
cut.
dumb head, and he's very likable despite the fact like he could play a real jerk, and people be like, I still love him though.
100%.
Yeah,
Would you?
but I don't think we'd get him first.
Yeah, well, he's not. I don't know if he's supposedly doing Gambit, but what's happening there? Who knows? Yeah.
What if we got Mogo the Planet Green Lantern?
That's the
first.
that's opening.
That's the first one, and it just arrives in Earth's orbit, and it's just like
I'm here to help.
the Justice League are fighting, Lex Luthor or what, the Dark Side or whatever, and Mogo's just slowly floating around the planet trying to get a beat on somebody to zap him with the ring. Oh no, you went. You flew about. Okay, hang on. Give me another minute, guys.
Hang on, there's cloud coverage.
Yep.
This is from Trey Tobaso, and it ties into what you're talking about. How did you guys like the new DC logo intro in Wonder Woman? Was it much needed? Too much? Or who cares? I didn't love the design of all of it.
Yep.
It was a little bit Alex Ross, but also not Alex Ross enough.
And it was also a bit Justice League Unlimited.
Yes.
Where they show all the 7 original members and then they float in every potential superhero they have.
I tried to get a beat on who was there, but I only kind of caught Hawkman and maybe Hawkgirl.
I was going to say there's some Hawks in there.
Yeah, and Green Arrow.
Yeah.
I really was. I was trying to spot Martian Manhunter. I bet he's in there. I don't think that necessarily though says we're going to see all these people.
No, absolutely not.
But I think it's interesting that they're acknowledging that there's a lot of stuff we can do.
Yeah.
And I think with Wonder Woman as well, I think the sequel to this is going to take priority over, say, something that's kind of sort of coming along. Like where's Shazam at? I don't really know.
Exactly, yeah.
I think we're going to see another one of these in like 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Or not.
But they could trial a new character
100%.
in Wonder
yeah.
Woman 2 if they wanted
Yeah,
to.
exactly. Anyone in particular?
Or maybe they could throw
The
in
planet! Get the planet!
the planet. Oh, hey, you fighting some gods down there? Do you want me to? Oh no, wait. Okay, no, the planet's orbited slightly. I can't see anymore. Hang on.
Are you on Themyscira? No, I can't see that.
Can't see
It's an
the
invisible
Themyscira.
island.
Magic. I don't understand it. I'm a planet. Yeah, that'd be good.
So he's Earth's protector, a planet.
Yeah, exactly.
He's our sector's Green Lantern.
And he's like, I'm protected. And everybody's like, move out of the way of the sun. Stop eclipse. We're trying to grow crops here. Get out of the way.
Not all of us are in a pitch battle with Darkseid.
Oh, sorry.
I'd see that. I would
me
100% see that.
too.
But that's what I'm hoping for in the Green Lantern movie. How many weird versions of Green Lantern there are?
So many.
There's so many.
Would you like to see all the other lanterns?
Well, we sort of saw that they kind of ruined it in the last movie because we saw a lot of them. We saw what's the big muscular monster one?
Oh no, I meant more. Do you want to see all the other lantern corps, like the red lanterns and the yellow lanterns?
I think
and
you couldn't really do it initially.
No.
It's probably too much.
It's
but then
way
again,
too much.
A lot of people probably know who Green Lantern is by now. And if you introduced him in a full-on Justice League movie, you could then do a Green Lantern movie with that. If you know who he is, you're like, oh yeah, he's great, he's got a ring, he can do whatever.
Yep.
Then the next one, the yellow lanterns turn up or whatever.
guess that's true, yeah.
The Sinestro Corps.
Yeah, there's a lot to get through, I guess.
Also, you can get Mark Strong back, who cares?
Yeah, he was the.
Doesn't-
How could you do it? How could anyone else be that?
Doesn't matter.
They nailed that.
Yeah.
They nailed nothing else about that film, but they nailed Mark Strong and Sinestro was great.
As I've said before, there's just a whole lot of big-headed aliens and monsters in that movie. But Mark Strong he's the best of the
perfecto.
bunch.
Yes.
Yeah. Good work. This is from Connor McGuinness.
Wow. That's a Scottish or Irish name if I've ever heard one.
After Injustice 2, do you think that Brainiac could be in a DC film, or is he too weird? Who could play him? Now, I've got a list of people who have played him before.
Yes.
And I genuinely think that any of these people could fill this role.
Just bring him back again.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Okay,
ready.
so John Noble played him in Superman Unbound.
Okay.
Do you know him? He's from Fringe as well. He's from one of the Lord of the Rings
Oh,
movies.
is he the professor in Fringe?
I have never seen Fringe.
Okay,
But
right.
I just think he's in Fringe, but he might not be in Fringe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose again it depends on which version of Brainiac we get.
Right.
Like if we get the skeleton robot guy, it could be anyone because you just do the voice.
Yeah. But I think, have you seen Superman Unbound or read Superman Brainiac?
No.
The comic? It's great. It's the real Brainiac shows up on Earth
Right.
It's after years of Superman fighting Brainiac robots, and it's the actual Brainiac.
Oh, the green one?
The green one, yeah.
Right.
And they get in a fight, and there's
Okay,
Candle
right.
and there's... And it's also a really good way to introduce Supergirl as well, if
Yeah,
you wanted
right.
to introduce her, because she plays a big part of that
Right.
in that movie. But James Masters played him in Smallville.
That would work.
I didn't see it. But he also
Yep.
played Piccolo. He played Green Piccolo
Right.
so you know he's up for it, isn't
Yep.
he? And Lance Hendrickson played him in Superman Brainiac Attacks.
Ooh.
Might be a little bit old, but
Yeah, right.
CGI,
Yeah,
right?
CGI. Exactly. Yeah.
You can make him a big green man.
Yeah.
But he's got that kind of... We look at him when he played the robot that one time. He's got that disconnect from...
That's true, he
from
does.
humanity. So he could
Yeah.
absolutely do it. But no, would you like to see Brainiac in a film?
Yeah, I think that could totally work.
I think that's where there's a good chance they're going to do Brainiac next for Superman. But it would also mean that the last Superman movie was an
World
alien
engine.
an alien
I
ship
was just
shows
thinking that
up,
actually, yeah.
and then like as much as I'd like to see it, they might not do it because they did it already.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. As soon as I was like, oh, that would be good, but then I'm like, okay, world engine and big ships coming down and etc. It's kind of a rehash. Maybe, you know what I would like? Maybe he goes somewhere else.
You've
And
been
it's
saying
not
that
on
for as
yeah.
long as
This podcast has been happening. Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say as long as the day is long, but that is not an expression.
and also not that long. Yeah, maybe he goes somewhere and he has to liberate a different planet from Brainiac, and then we can see we can see some alien races, and we can see, and then it's not an invasion,
Right.
He's already there,
And then you could do an invasion later, potentially.
Yeah.
Well, that would also be... I was going to say, how is that going to work? Because it's just Superman and a bunch of aliens. But Thor Ragnarok is... Well, there's no humans in that except for the Hulk, who's barely a human.
Yeah, look, I think potentially the next Superman movie is going to hinge very much on maybe what Thor Ragnarok does.
Right, yeah.
Like if it makes $1 billion, they might be like...
It will absolutely make $1 billion.
People like this alien world stuff, so maybe we'll throw some of that in. But we'll give it less personality.
Oh, very good.
Yes. What about Bryan Cranston as Brainiac?
Yeah.
He's a good Zordon.
He was a good
Yeah,
Zordon,
right.
yeah. No, he would be. He might be a little too earthy for Brainiac. Because
Yeah,
even as
maybe.
Zordon, he did feel like a
dude.
Like a dude, yeah.
Like a dude in a pinboard. You're
Yeah,
right.
I think you do need somebody, who's a little bit got that kind of disconnect.
What about Rami Malek from Mr. Robot?
I've never seen Mr. Robot.
Okay, never mind.
Is he the robot?
He's the guy.
If he's the robot, then that's perfect because a robot's not a
robot
man.
would do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else is a bit spacey then? Like
Kevin Spacey, he played
Yeah.
K-Pax.
that's true.
I
Yeah.
told you my Kevin Spacey story.
Yes, and we can't say it on air for many reasons. We've gone over this. What else? Who else is quite aloof?
I was gonna say David Bowie.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He would be good.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's aloof? Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton as Brainiac, I would say that.
Yeah.
Yep. I guess the problem is that
Who's weird?
at a certain point, all the weirdos who are also good at dealing with like green screen and special effects have been scooped up by somebody else.
Right.
So Tilda Swinton, I guess she's probably out of contract.
I would
now.
imagine so. Yeah.
After Doctor Strange. but-
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
any or none.
Anybody at all.
Yeah, I think that's the show for this week.
We
though.
did another show.
Now we've before you launch into all the things where people can find us.
Oh, yes.
A couple of things. People have asked about the Q&A.
Oh yeah.
Because Claire's going away this week, as mentioned. I'm on my own for 2
Right.
weeks with a kid, which means I'm barely going to be able to do the bare minimum to
Right.
keep myself and him alive.
Uh-huh.
So I'd say in the next 2 weeks, it's probably not going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Are you
right.
okay with that, Mason?
I'm fine
So I
with that.
apologize. It's well overdue.
Uh-huh.
I know that.
Yep.
But
But if anything, when we do it next year, that's going to be even more overdue.
you better believe
So
it.
by comparison, this will seem like a blink of an eye. It'll be out as quick as the day is long,
That's
which is very short.
the thing is, Caravan of Garbage this week ties into The Mummy, which is also out
That's right.
this week. We're going to be talking about that next week. I hope it's good. I really want it to be good.
want it to be good as
see
well,
a fun
yeah.
Tom Cruise action movie with Punch and Russell Crowe and whatever. The game we play I won't spoil, but it's going up Tuesday. It is hilariously terrible.
Fantastic.
Like, you were there.
I was
You
there.
saw
I played
you
it.
saw There's some graphics like you've never seen, some action like you've never seen as the day is long.
Unless you played Tomb Raider.
Yes, but it's spectacular.
Yeah.
So, I'll that's be on my YouTube channel if you want to
Nice.
see us make fun of a really terrible thing. Like that is the definition of Caravan of Garbage.
Garbage, absolutely.
Yeah.
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 Caravan through the desert. of garbage.
That's right. Where can people find us?
Oh, they can find us on Weekly Planet Pod at Facebook and Gmail and Twitter and Bandcamp.
Yep.
If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. Chucking $1 or $2 a month. If you want to do that, you can also go to our Amazon affiliate link, which is in the episode description. You click on it if you want to buy the bloody something funny. What's something funny?
Boobs.
It's all right. Like on an apron or something?
No.
Oh.
Human boobs. I'm
Man,
so tired.
You are going to be... There's going to be nothing left of you after 2 weeks. You're just going to be skin and bones. Or maybe you want to buy like season 1 through 3 of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
On DVD.
I bet it's not good.
Let us know what it's like. I bet it's one of those shows where you're like, oh, this was pretty good, like the first episode. And then you get to the second, you're like, oh, this is kind of the same.
Yeah.
And after 3, you're like, oh, all right.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I shouldn't have bought 3 seasons of this. Anyway, what you should do is buy 3 seasons worth of it on Amazon
Fringe.
through our link, and then we get a kickback somehow. And then you pay the same bloody low prices.
The link works for all countries as far as I understand as well.
Yeah.
Where else? What else?
You can also go... we've got some t-shirts on tpublic.com. Just search for Weekly Planet. All the logo tees are back, which is pretty great. They're good.
Yeah.
People enjoy them.
Yep.
People always send us a nice photo of themselves next to a celebrity of some sort wearing the t-shirt. It's always great.
Doesn't have to be a celebrity. It
Just
can be
your friend.
It can be your mum.
But if your friend or mum is a celebrity, that would be good.
Yeah, imagine if your mum was Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
That'd be rad.
Wow. Wow, she'd be winning all sorts of back alley fights.
Yes.
What else? Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all our themes. Thank you everybody who bloody sends us a nice tweet. I read them all. I can't get to all of them.
No.
Because I have no motivation.
Because you choose not to.
I choose not to.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody who bloody sends us a like and a subscribe and just bloody listens to the show. How good is it? How weird is it?
Yeah, it is really
Who would have
weird.
thought anyone would ever have listened to
I thought
this?
you meant the show. Like, how good's this show? It's not that good.
No, it's not. It's certainly not. It's no.
Yeah, no, it is. It's amazing. It's afforded me the opportunity to work from home and be with my family, which is the greatest gift you could ever receive.
Except for 2 weeks without them, am I right?
Yes, and then I'm in, or one of them.
Yeah, right.
The linchpin. Yeah, then I'm in serious shit. But no, it's I love it. It's great. That's the show.
That is the show.
What else?
That's everything, right?
Yeah, say the catchphrase.
Oh yeah, grab that gem, you guys.
Yeah, okay,
we'll see you
good.
next week.
Well, I shouldn't have to prompt you into that.
I thought there was something else.
Okay, no, there's not.
No, nothing else. Grab a gem. Okay, bye.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.